We're live, guys.
There we
Evening,
go.
everyone.
Hi, guys.
Evening.
We got Perry in there, and somehow I suppose you can put a message through beforehand. It just comes through. We got Eileen from PSP as a guest today. Has got a couple of personal experiences. Oh, Ian says he's in. I can't see him there though. He says he's in, but I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, oh, Perry's here.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, Ian's having technical difficulty.
Where's he in?
That's typical. We had so many technical difficulties when we first started. Oh, yeah, here we go. There we go. Evening, young man.
Hi, Ian.
All right.
Hi, Eileen.
So we got Eileen, Echoes of the Lost, Bald Brave, Dr. Dick, and Ooh Matron. That sounds good enough for me tonight. Oh, I'm getting.
I seem to be everybody's sounding board tonight.
Nah.
The 4 people bleating on at me about, what should I do with this? Why should I do that? How can I?
Before we start, I want to wish your mum a speedy recovery and hope she as possible. Not pleasant at any age what happened, bless her.
No.
So, right. I think we'll go.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we'll start with Joe.
Yeah, we got Perry here as well tonight. Come and say hello.
Where are
Let
we?
me go full screen so you can see them all.
What are you doing?
Go start commenting. We need the comments.
Yes.
We need the comments.
Because I can hear myself coming back.
Oh, feedback. Is it me? Hang on.
You can feedback.
Hang on. Oh, I'm on. Okay. Let me kill that off a minute. Just lose a viewer for a second.
Well, we said we wanted to try bringing guests in, so Eileen had the honour of being our first one. So,
Yeah.
Right, I think we'll start with the young Joe.
Okay, well, this is a kind of a personal one. I think we've talked about it before, Carl.
Yeah.
But during an investigation at a hospital in Ajo, Arizona, southwest Arizona, there's a hospital there called Phelps Dodge Hospital. It used to be the hospital for the big pit mine that's right across the street.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was
when we done the interviews and that.
right, and it was an awesome place to investigate. There's still a little bit of equipment there. The operating rooms are still there, but of course they're empty. But they have the big glass bricks, the blocks on the wall, so the sun could come in and provide light for the operating rooms. So that was kind of interesting. The thing that got me in that hospital is I could go anywhere in that hospital by myself without any trouble whatsoever. And I very seldom have fear of anything in a haunted location. And this isn't even a fear. But I decided to go upstairs to the top floor where the operating rooms are, the nursery is, the delivery rooms, and there's some patient rooms down there as well. But I went up the stairs to the top.
Find an image.
What's that?
What's the name of the place again? I'll try and find an image.
Oh, it's the Phelps Dodge Hospital in Ajo, AJO. But you get up there to the second floor, and as you start walking into the hallway, there at the threshold, I have always had a hard time walking in there if I'm by myself. I'll walk right up to the threshold, and it's like, nah, just don't want to go in there. And there's nothing there. I mean, yeah, there's spirits there, of course, but there's nothing there that's bad or nasty that I know of. And it was just like, finally, you just got to just take that step over the threshold, and everything's fine from that point on. It's just that getting across was the toughest thing. And I did that like 3 times at different times, trying to go in there, and you just got to force yourself.
I've
It's
said
quite-
that. I said that about Co-Life though. There's always a sensation that no, we don't want you here. You've got to go
Yeah.
or we'll make it help. That kind of. I'll see if my dyslexia is dreadful, so you'll be able to spell it easier than me. So that's anything particular that stands out in any of the investigations there, other than that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. There was a lady, I think we called her Annie. I'm not sure if that was her name or not, but I think we called her Annie, and she was in the room right next to the nurse's station. And I could walk in there and talk and feel perfectly comfortable in there, just talking and things like that. But as soon as one of the other investigators walked in, this woman had a very hard time with him in the room. She really was not interested in him being there. I always thought that was pretty hilarious.
I'm wondering if he reminded her of someone.
Well, I think he's been in there talking to her and wasn't very nice.
Okay.
So, or trying to say something or whatever. I've got the image here. It's just not showing. Let's show this. I got it.
Everything's going really slow coming up tonight. It's on my computer tonight for some reason, luckily. Because normally it's my computer running too slow, but now my computer. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
I think it's StreamYard itself.
Oh,
This is
that's
the old
big.
Phil's Dutch. That is, it's such a cool place.
God, it makes me
Right here in the center door, there's the lobby. You walk in, and there's a nurse station and everything. Off to the left is the lab. Off to the right is rooms and offices, and then upstairs is all the main stuff. The back side of this building is where the big block walls are for the operating rooms and stuff. But it's very, very cool.
Is it still functioning as a hospital, or is it?
Oh no! It's been through a couple of different owners. My friends Tony and Cherie Rathman had the keys to it for quite a long time. They were trying to turn it into a paranormal center where you can come down and investigate, try out new equipment, do stuff like that. That was really a neat thing that they had going on there for about 4 years. And then it was sold to somebody else, and that somebody else wasn't interested in anything having to do with ghosts or paranormal or anything. So it got shut down from all that use. Really, really a neat place. But yeah, there are stories from that place. In fact, your buddy Zach and his group investigated here years and years ago.
Probably demons, then, aren't they?
They're the ones. They're the ones that put the. There's a little bassinet in the little room where they had the kids stay after they were born. There's a little bassinet that they donated to the cause, and supposedly one of them got picked up and thrown out of room 131, 231, 131.
They obviously don't like the TV show either, then.
But supposedly one got picked up and thrown out of the room. But yeah, I don't know. I never felt anything bad or horrible in that place.
Always say for entertainment purposes only. So
Right,
Yes.
we're not a fan of Zach here.
Yeah, he's your favorite. Just like Ian likes
when they first started out, they weren't that bad.
No, they were great.
Then everything
Sure.
became demons. Everything became they're having a go at me. It's all about
If you binge watch it, you can actually see where ego takes over.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And the t-shirt got tighter and tighter. And
Yeah.
And the shoulders got
His
bigger and
brain
bigger.
started
When he was still a skinny little kid, it was good. I do still like Aaron, though. I think Aaron's good.
Oh, wasn't that
Aaron's
shocking
great.
what happened to him, with his missus?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the psycho bent. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is he the one that tried having him offed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife tried to get a hitman to take care of him.
Wow. I think I've got a few.
But he can't have been that good a hitman when the whole thing was found out because he was already in jail and they tossed his cell and they found the phone with the messages on it. That's how they found out about it.
Oh, boy.
So it's a good job he was a bit rubbish at his job. Otherwise, she might have got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as we've got a guest, I think we'll go to Eileen next.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
I've got kind of like two experiences. I'll tell you about the first one, and then I'll come back with the second one. They're very, very different stories and very, very different locations. A very, very long time ago, when I was actually still at school, I did voluntary work. And you may know this place, Linda. You know Goulburn Hospital, just outside
Not come
Edinburgh?
across that one.
No, it's on the road to the airport, very near the airport. Now,
Oh,
Goulburn
right, yeah.
Hospital I use very loosely. It was more of an asylum. It was pre-Victorian, huge. It was like a small village. Dormitories for patients, but there was also like houses, living accommodation for staff.
Mm.
And it was the sort of place that it was more about incarceration and containment than treatment. So the patients, once you went in there, you never really left.
Yeah.
And it wasn't psychiatric. It was for people with disorders like schizophrenia, dementia, but also a very high proportion were people who'd been committed at a very early age because there was nowhere else for them to go. They've
Yeah.
committed some kind of petty crime and there was nowhere else for them to go. So they were all sent to the hospital because there was no place else for them. And it was very sad, you know. Pretty much what Carstairs is like, and Broadmoor, more than a hospital. And there were people in there who had been in there from preschool days, 2, 3, 4 years old. There were whole families in there, in fact. And it was very difficult to keep the male and the female patients apart. And there were quite a lot of births in there at the same time. It was quite a horrendous place, actually. However, I got roped into doing voluntary work with a friend of mine I was at school with, and we used to do sort of 2 Sunday afternoons a month. We would go up to Goulburn, and ostensibly it was to do recreational pursuits with the more able patients, you know, go into the room, do some arts and crafts, sing a wee song, play some music, board games. It was really because on a Sunday the staff was pretty much non-existent, and they relied on people like me, volunteers, going in to cover the shortfall of the staff that was there. And it was quite daunting to begin with, but once you got used to it, I used to quite enjoy it, you know. And most of I tended to call them residents rather than patients because that's what they were. They were being treated like hospital, and they were all kind of middle-aged and getting on, because there had been no admissions for quite a long time, other than the court admissions. That I forgot to tell you. There were closed wards that criminally insane had been sent there, and they were all kept locked up. We never actually saw those patients. However, they were all quite a bit older, and I was only 16 at the time. And once I got used to all the little ways and things, I used to quite look forward to it. And there was one day I was in, and we had a big room to do all the recreational work, and we had a big round table, and everybody was sitting around the table. And I'd taken a big bag of shells in that day, actually. We were doing like shell art, making me pictures, you know, wee cats and drawing me legs and tails and all the rest of it. And they loved doing stuff like that. And out the corner of my eye, whilst I was trying to stop people throwing glue and glitter everywhere, I caught sight of a lady that I didn't know. I hadn't seen this particular patient before. And there was like a row of seats against the wall at the far end of this room. And we were kind of in the middle around the table. And she was kind of at the corner, standing in the corner. And I thought, I didn't hear her coming in. The door was behind me, because you learn very quickly. You stay where the door is when you're with patients that are very volatile and you're not quite sure what they're going to do. So I thought, I didn't hear her coming in because the door was just behind me. I must have been too preoccupied with the rest of them. And she struck me as she looked different from the rest of the patients because she was a bit younger. She must have been, well, I was 16 at the time. So to me, she looked about 30-ish, you know. But your perceptions of age when you're young yourself are a bit out. But she definitely looked appreciably younger than the patients that I had been used to. And she wasn't wearing day clothes. She wasn't dressed. She was in what I would call a granny goonie, Linda. You'll know what that is. And it was like a very long, voluminous night dress right up to the neck and right down here. Quite big flouncy around here and up here. And she was barefoot as well. And she was just standing in the corner and she wasn't saying anything. She was just watching. And I thought, well, I'm not going to intimidate her. She's obviously come along to have a look and see what we're doing. And if she wants to join in, it's up to her because it wasn't a compulsory sort of, activity. I thought I'll just let her watch for a little while. And I just got on with what I was doing. I looked up and she was still standing in the corner just watching. So I kind of gave her a little wave and a smile just to let her know that I'd seen her. And she kind of nodded her head and smiled back. And I thought, well, she's, I'll just let her settle down, get a bit more comfortable, and I'll go across and try to get her to join in with what we're doing. And 2 or 3 minutes passed, and I looked up, and she had gone. She wasn't there. I thought, well, I didn't hear her coming in. I didn't hear her going out. And I was looking all around the room. There was nowhere she could have gone, and she wasn't there. And I thought, well, that's odd. That's really odd. But what a shame she didn't come across and join in, because everybody was having quite a bit of fun. And then at the end of the session, when the nursing staff came in to take them all away to go and get fed, I said, who is the lady patient? I've not seen her before. And they said, what lady patient? I said, well, I don't know, because she just stood in the corner and she didn't join in. And when I wanted to go across and kind of include her, she had left, which was a shame because we had a good time. And she said, well, I don't know who you mean. I said, well, I didn't speak to her, so I didn't get a name. And can you describe her? So I said, well, she had a night dress on. She wasn't dressed. And she had barefoot and described it. And she said, oh, that was Nancy. I said, oh, Nancy. I said, She said, Nancy's not here. I said, what do you mean she's not here? She was here 5 minutes ago, sort of thing. And they said, no, she's a ghost. She haunts the building.
Aww.
And she occasionally comes out and just watches what's going on and then fades away.
Oh,
So
sweet.
It's quite harmless.
She must feel happy.
We don't even know if she was called Nancy. This was a name that the staff had given her. So nobody knew who she was or her history.
That often makes me wonder when people go into and doing investigations, they go, oh, we're going to call this ghost Bill or something like that. And they sit there and go, my name's not Bill, it's Dave, for God's sake. I've been telling you dozens of times that's not my name.
Yeah. It's the thing, isn't it? You see him there, sat there, and he did this, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Bloody do that at all.
Yeah. Do you feel that she was residual or more intelligent?
Oh, no, because she acknowledged me.
So it's definitely an intelligent haunting.
Oh, definitely, because when I gave her a wee wave and a smile to let her know that I knew she was there. I wasn't ignoring her. And she sort of nodded her head and smiled back at me.
So she
must feel comfortable there.
Oh, yes.
What's going on?
Clearly.
She's not trying to get rid of anyone. She's just curious.
No. She apparently just kind of floated about the hospital watching what was going on. And I did see her 2 or 3 times after that first initial. And I actually spoke to her, but I never got anything back. I just kind of got on with what I was doing. I was saying, oh, here's Nancy. I hope you're doing well, Nancy. Nice to see you, sort of thing. I never got any kind of involvement with her. She never progressed beyond standing in the background, just watching. But she clearly could see what I was doing. And I could see her, and I made it known that I could see her, and she made it known that I could see that she could see.
Despite the place having such a bad reputation of the things that used to happen there, for some reason, something of that place she was happy with.
Oh, yes. I mean, there must have been some dreadful goings on in this place. This was a horrendous sort of, Victorian style. And I dread to think what happened in the earlier days.
Yeah.
Treatment and things, because they still had all the big original rooms with things that looked like they were going to electrocute you, Like,
well, electric shock therapy was
they had all that
massive
stuff
thing in those days.
It looked
It is
very,
actually
very
still used.
grim,
In some locations, it is still used, but sparingly.
It was pretty grim.
Used,
but I mean, that was quite a nice story, and it didn't frighten me at all, because again, I was still at school. I was very young. I had no fear of sort of spirit. I didn't know much about it at that time, to be quite honest. But I didn't go in expecting to see ghosts, and I accepted her as just a patient, and that never changed. To me, she was always just one of the gang kind of thing. She just didn't join in,
And is the building still there?
It was quite nice to see her, I quite. Oh, here's Nancy.
Is the building still there?
Sorry?
Is it still there, the building?
No, it was there was a big scandal because there was quite a bit of abuse going on towards the patients, and somebody blew a whistle, and there was a big scandal at the time, and it was closed down about 35, maybe 40 years ago now. It's now actually, the ground's been redeveloped. It's the Royal Bank of Scotland headquarters now, and a rather posh golf club.
I put a picture.
I might argue it's still in the file.
It's on that road.
Yeah. Joe put this up. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the old hospital RBS headquarters. It's been changed, of course, since RBS took over.
It's a lovely
It'd be interesting to see whether anyone's ever met her.
Yeah, after it changed
recently.
Yeah.
Actually, in the bank, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
You walk in, you go in to pay your money in, and there's like you said, there's a woman stood in the corner in a nightdress, and
that would be interesting to find out. I don't know anybody that works there, and that they're very secretive at the Royal Bank of Scotland headquarters.
Yeah.
After the Tread scandal, they're kind of close quarters.
Any idea of what sort of era she was from?
Well, the hospital itself, as I said, it was kind of just pre-Victorian, I think. Maybe perhaps mid 1800s it was built, and she looked to me to be of that area of Victorian era. The style of the nightdress and everything.
Okay.
How old would you say she was?
Well, to me, she looked to be maybe early 30s. Early 30s, appreciably younger than the rest of the patients I was dealing with, But it was her dress because she was barefoot and she was in her granny beneath, which was.
It makes you wonder, like you say, with them taking whole families and that, how long she'd actually been there. She might have been there from a kid.
Yes, well, yes. Yeah. There were people in there who had been in there when I was doing my voluntary work there, had already been there for 50 years.
Oh, Christ.
And this was 50 years ago that I was working there. So, when you think, you're then talking about around about 100 years when these people were first admitted to the hospital. So you can only imagine the working practices and things that were happening at that time. It doesn't bear
It's funny with investigating this. You look at the asylums, and it's the same horror stories.
Welcome to the full picture, by the way.
And what we call abuse now, they thought was respectable treatments. They honestly thought they were helping the patients.
Well, there was kind of modern day abuse.
Oh yeah. I'm not denying that went on as well, but what people are saying, oh yeah, they used electric shock. Well,
the treatment that was acceptable. That was an acceptable course of treatment.
Exactly. Beating someone up and that, tying him to the bed and so they couldn't move for days on end and what. It's abuse. But they honestly thought a lot of what we're calling abuse was treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Cheers. Right. Does Ian or Linda want to go next?
Well, I've got Waverley Hills Sanatorium.
Oh, I would love to go there.
Go for it. Yep.
Yeah.
I almost did.
I want to go there, but I've heard so much about it. It makes me think it's all hype.
Well,
there's been quite a bit of controversy around the place in recent years, hasn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's one of those. I think it's one of those. There is definitely things there, definitely going on, but because you get the likes of his nibs and all the celebrity TV programs going doing the investigations, it's made it worse.
And talking of him who shall not be named, that official, so-called official fan club that's only run by one admin, tried in the last 3 days 6 times.
I blocked him 3 times.
I saw
I blocked him 6 times, and then there was again another one today. So I don't know how they're doing it, but anyway,
I have no idea how they're getting in, but yeah. I mean, Waverley Hills. I've put a photo up.
Okay. Yep. I'll just call the one that Linda's just shared.
Huge.
You'll try and figure out how to.
Yeah. This is absolutely massive. Early during the 1800s, 1900s, early 1900s, America went through a real bad epidemic of tuberculosis. And this sanatorium was built.
I was just about to mention this picture.
Yeah. And the hospital was constructed on a windswept hill in South Jefferson County. It's been designed to combat the horrors of the disease, but in those days they didn't really know what the hell it was. Most people who went in there died. And some of the practices, like I said, that we'd now call them abuse, but they were cutting the chest open and removing the ribs to try and let the lungs expand. They were putting balloons into the lungs and blowing them up to pressurize it and expand the lungs. So you can imagine there's an awful lot of residual stuff, horror stuff in there. Patients who survived both the disease and the treatments went through the front door. Most tended to go down the body chute, which is an enclosed tunnel at the back.
Yeah.
Railroad tracks in the bottom of the hill, and they shipped them out to a crematorium or wherever to get rid of them.
I've seen that.
Closed in 1961, but reopened a year later as Woodhaven Geriatric Sanatorium. So it's electroshock therapy, like I say, was considered highly effective. They used that. Budget cuts in the 60s and 70s led to horrible conditions and patient mistreatment. And in 1982, they closed it for good because it was costing too much. And like I said, the horror stories and everything. By 2001, it had been nearly destroyed by time, and it had become a thing for the local vandals and thrill seekers going in looking for ghosts. Some of the resident ghosts that are in there, a little girl who is seen running up and down on the 3rd floor solarium. There's a little boy who's been spotted kicking a leather ball about. There's a hearse that appears at the back of the building for dropping off coffins and picking up bodies. That appears quite often. There's a woman with bleeding wrists who cries for help.
Get an echo for someone.
White coat, seen walking around the kitchens. The kitchens, as they are at the moment, are a real mess. It's a ruin. But people have seen this guy walking about in a coat, white coat. There's even not people who said that they can smell fresh bread in that area.
Just quickly say, sorry, we're getting echo off of someone's phone. We're getting echo off of someone's phone when Ian was talking there.
I'm not hearing it at my end.
No,
I was hearing it.
I hear it coming out of my speaker here.
Yeah. Now, this pic, as you started saying about, as soon as you said the name of the place, this image came to my mind.
Yeah.
You got the two circled there. The bigger circle could quite easily be a person. If you look slightly,
people believe it's a nun.
A nun.
Yes.
Would it have been staffed by nuns?
At one point, yes, there would have been.
Yeah.
There would have
I
been.
can't see that as a nun myself, but
Well, to me, you can see the wimple. What
Long hair.
white in front of her looks like she's got her hands clasped like that
yeah.
in front of her. So
See, what people see as a wimple, I see as just long dark hair. But if you look,
Yeah.
when I've ever looked at this one before, sorry, the dog's snoring.
Okay.
Well, how are you snoring? If you look at the smaller one, to me, that doesn't look like a person. That looks like
Does to me.
something.
It looks like somebody perhaps peering over, doesn't it?
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like a child peering over.
Somebody like looking out the window, like looking down or something
Aye.
from a seated position, or somebody short.
Uh-huh.
Or a child, possibly. But to me, that
Yeah.
looks like somebody's left something on the windowsill, to me personally. But what I have just noticed, and I hadn't ever noticed this before, but if you go to the next picture after the little circle, right on the very edge of the screen, on the left-hand side of the screen, there looks
Someone
like
with their hands up.
somebody else there.
Yes.
And also in the first one with the big circle, just to the left of that, there looks like there's possibly something there as well.
Yeah.
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 Well, I've put another
That one with the
up.
big circle, to me, looks like there's 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely one next to the window, but there looks to be others stood
Mhm.
just back from it. You
See,
put
the
the
thing
other one
is-
up, Carl.
Yep. The thing is, could somebody have been investigating there and they just didn't know there's somebody in the building investigating? Oh, wow.
I remember seeing that one.
I've
This
not seen
one
that one before.
was taken in 2006, and it's believed to be that young lady there. She's called Mary Lee, and she was treated there and died there. But that is where she's been seen a few times.
So she's
Well,
actually documented.
Yeah, this is the clearest photo of her, which is a strange one. I mean, she's looking directly at them.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
thing that concerns me with the photo, and it could just be motion, is the length of her arms.
And when was this picture taken?
Yeah.
2006.
But you can see the detail of the fact that she's in bare feet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can see a dress or whatever it is, night dress, is about 6 to 8 inches above her ankles.
Mm.
Mhm.
I'm wondering whether she's got something in her hands or it was a.
Maybe she's
A pattern
carrying
on the
something.
dress, maybe.
Oh, yeah, exactly. She might be carrying something. That's the only thing that has made me think, well, no, but everything else about it just strikes me as, yeah, that's.
Mhm.
She's walked out of the room. You can almost see through her legs.
Uh-huh.
See, the
Mhm.
only problem is me, because as I've said before, since my heart attack, I've become more cynical from doing like when I tried to when I had my previous team, and I used to do the editing and all of that. this is 2006, and Photoshop has been out since originally 1987, but it became Adobe Photoshop in 1990. So Photoshop was well around by the time this image came out.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree, but this has been checked out by so-called expert specialists, and they can't find any evidence that this has been tampered with.
Yeah, because when you check the you can, even with just Notepad on an ordinary computer, if you've got an image, you scan in. If you right-click on it or open it up in Notepad, it will bring up all the EXIF.
Yeah, it brings up. It brings up everything, and like I said, this has been checked out by so-called experts. There's a reason they're called experts. It's X as in has been, spurt as in drip under pressure, but we've all got our specialities. But it's the fact, like I say, you can actually see through part of the body as well. You can almost see through the legs. But you look at the stomach area, you can see the frame behind it.
Yeah. And you can see the frame.
Because I do the video editing and that from when I had the team and things like that, I know how you would do that. But the fact that it's got so-called experts there's no proof of tampering, but that image there in itself would be relatively easy to copy.
Yeah, the problem we've got, as we've said in the past, problem we've got, and AI is only going to make it infinitely.
Oh, AI is a nightmare. Yeah.
With cynics, because we look at it and we automatically think it's a fake.
Yeah, like you said, isn't it?
Too much on this to me that says it's not. And to me, it's sentient as well.
Yeah.
Because she's turned to look at the camera.
She's paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah. She is fully aware that whoever's there.
That is definitely an interesting one, that. I'm not sure what to think about that. But I don't know if it's one of the door handles, but if you look down the corridor past, I don't know if it's a reflection of the photographer.
Teddy's just about to disappear, so we'll
log on next door and watch you from next door from my comfy chair.
Okay.
Thanks for coming by, Perry.
Good to see you all, chaps.
See you. Bye.
Yeah. See you
later.
See you
See you
Friday.
later.
Yeah.
Aye, see you
Thank
Friday.
you for your adventure.
That's all right. Cheers.
Someone else just sprang to mind while we were talking as well.
Yeah.
Good.
Cheers, Stat.
If you look further down the corridor, I'm assuming that's a set of double doors right down the end there by the look of that.
A little camera flash.
Yeah, that's a major camera flash.
Camera flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the door on the left side looks like it's lit up.
Yeah.
The very last one down the left side.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's part. If you look just beyond her, the door just beyond her, that's the same.
Yes.
And that would suggest it is the camera flash.
I really don't know what to make of that one. That's an interesting one.
It's fascinated me since the first time I saw it years ago.
The trouble is, like I said, my cynical mind saying, right, there is a logical explanation for it.
Well, that's why we do the things we do, because we're not.
Yeah.
It's someone's put an arm up.
Demons.
Yeah. It's demons.
It's always very, very difficult as well, isn't it? It's always difficult.
Well, if you've not taken it yourself.
If you've not been in the moment, you know, to be all the contributory factors at the time.
Yeah, exactly. We've all five of us were in there.
Things, and people that haven't been there, and you lads know. Linda as well, obviously, calling you lad. But I took a photo and I put it up a couple of weeks after I put it on. And I was told this has been debunked years ago. Why are you putting this crap up? And And I
And
said,
it's
it's
like my
my
ghost
fault.
picture.
I put it up. I only took it 2 weeks ago. No,
Yeah.
this has been debunked. It's total garbage, this.
And as we've said multiple times, that picture that I took of
Yeah.
my new bathroom, and it had a reflection of me in the shower glass, and people swore I put it on deliberately, pretending it was
Yeah.
a ghost one. And then when I said no, actually, it's just a photo I took. It's come out like this. It shows you how easy it is to trick people. No, that's definitely a ghost.
Mhm.
You got so
Trouble
much
is-
abuse for it. If you don't believe why you on,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's my fault and I took it. That is me.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
not.
then
No,
it's so very difficult. If somebody has something fixed in their mind, it's so very difficult to persuade someone otherwise.
Well, yeah, and this is the problem. I mean,
It's like the old orb argument, isn't it? If they're convinced, that the dust flying about their room are orbs,
Don't get me
there is
started on orbs.
nothing you can say that will change their mind.
No,
Politics.
hang on. There's orbs.
Orbs,
There's millions of them.
you can't.
I
nothing
don't have a
can say-
dirty house. Well,
Once somebody has a fixed
living.
opinion, it's very difficult to get somebody to change that opinion. And you can argue and argue and argue. I put something up today. I don't know if you saw it, Carl, and it was clearly a photographic glitch of somebody had taken a copy of a beach, a picture of a beach, just a couple of days ago, and it
Yes,
looked,
I did see it. I just think
the figures, and it was clearly a photographic kind of glitch, and perhaps with some of the Brocken Spectre sort of effect on it. But the amount of people that sent me that picture saying they're ghosts, they're soldiers walking down the beach.
But as I commented to you, the person we wasn't there. The person can go right. The person can go right. If you start walking along there, be a nice photo, then look at it and go, oh, it's not come out very well. Oh, do you know what though? That looks quite spooky. I wonder if I could make people think it's a ghost.
Well, the number of green orbs that people see.
Oh,
it's lens flare, for Christ's sake. So bloody obvious what it is. Oh no, it's not. It's
or the red demon eyes.
Yeah,
I like the red demon eyes, piggy eyes.
And the way we said before on the UFO one, it's funny how people, when they see UFOs, for instance, it's always like green, red, and white lights that the UFO shows. Which is always
exactly the light
same
you will see on the plane. Yeah, I could even tell you which way it's going.
Yeah.
If red's on that side and green's on that side, it's coming towards you. If it's the opposite,
maybe those aliens are just aliens are just trying to obey the proper air traffic law.
Yeah, well, it's pretty good of them.
They behave more than most humans.
Oh, that's true.
Right, Linda.
Vanish for a second.
Yeah. Linda, your turn.
Okay. I'm going to put some bits and pieces in. I sent the video across to you because I don't know how to do otherwise.
It's been a pain because I've had to, while you was all talking, I've had to go online, get a thing, download it off of YouTube, and then and that's what I think.
Well, it's in the present button. It gives me the option to share screen, which is the other possibility. If you want, I can do it that way instead.
No, I think. Oh no, we're lucky. We're lucky.
Here we are.
Oh, there we go. No, it didn't work.
Right. You see the window in the
there.
Yeah, the wide black space in the window.
Yeah.
Right. There's somebody there.
Oh, there's someone in the window.
I saw that.
The only snag is that building had been abandoned for about 20 years before that.
It was obvious that back farther, the closer they got, the more it just dissipated.
Yeah. The original video. The original video was done on the news, actually, and the way it showed, it was a lady with a granny goonie on, with curly white hair, and she stops and she looks out the window, and then she turns away and walks off down the corridor. That building had been empty for about 30 years.
What building was it? Is it an old hospital?
If you rewind back to 1881, it was the first picture I've put up, which is labelled Bishop Mill House. Carl?
Oh, Bishop. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me go back to that. Yeah.
Before, the other one.
That one.
They're coming up in the wrong order. That's what used to be there.
Right.
Then it goes to the more modern one, which is similar to the video shot.
Which is this one more there now?
That's where she was. That open bit where you can see the yellow metalwork is where that lady was. And that photo is 2 weeks after that video was filmed. There was nobody in the building. It was originally the local poorhouse. It's literally at the end of my street. When it was the old-fashioned building, it was the local poorhouse. And then later on, it turned into an old folks' home, which is the modern construction that you can see now. Now,
it must be my eyesight, because in that one that's up, I don't see anything in any of those windows.
Yeah, not in that one. It's only in the video. It's only in the video that I see her.
If you do the video, you can see her plainly, like now. She's there, and as it moves in closer, you can see it really well. But when they zoom in real close, it's nothing but a blur.
Yeah,
that blur could be caused by the zoom, though, possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do this, and it's okay.
But that to me,
and it disappears right about there. I mean, she's still there, but it's hard to see what she is.
The quality of this video is much, much worse than what was on the local news. This is how it looked after the national news got a hold of it. So obviously it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, you know.
Yeah.
And
that's slightly better.
Linda, why was it being filmed? Why was there somebody taking footage at the time?
That was a teenager filming out their bedroom window, talking about the building next door that was going to be demolished in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was. It was a teenager videoing out their window, saying this is going to be demolished in a couple of weeks, and I don't know if my view's going to be improved or if my view's going to be worse. And then she goes, "Oh my God, Fazza."
Right. So there was a bona fide reason for the filming to actually be taking place at the time.
Yeah. See, because basically it had been reopened for the flood victims to live in after the last big flood we had in town. And this is after the flood victims have all been rehoused. It's been declared that it's going to be demolished, but this is 2 weeks before the demolition. And as I say, the teenager was just filming out their window to say, look, here, I don't know if my view is going to get improved or if it's going to get worse. And then they were like, oh my God, Fazza.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
interesting. To me, though, whatever that is, because you can just about make out the top of that door, the whatever it is disappears into.
Almost, yeah.
So whoever that is was relatively tall. Because what's the door? 6'6".
Yeah, but the door to that room is 10 feet away from the window. The door's about 10, 15 feet away from the window, and she's right in front of the window.
As she goes through the window, there's a good foot and a half above her.
Yeah. Yeah.
See now,
and it's a wheelchair wide door because this
is done any demolition at all, is it?
This is before they've done any demo. Yeah, this is when all the ground floor is still all completely boarded up behind the big hoardings and the terrace fencing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see where people say, "Oh, it's." I can see where people say it's like an old lady. I can see that. Oh, hang on, the screen's gone all weird.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth?
What did you do, Carl?
They all disappeared.
I think that's that video clip's decided to freeze everything
They've
up.
killed us.
There we go. Let me try and bring you over. There we go.
Yeah, they opened it up again to house the folk for the floods. And this was after the floods, and I've got the built on the site of a former poorhouse, has for many years been the subject of intense speculation. Folk had reported in a reply to a Freedom of Information request to the local council, where it was confirmed that a clerk of works had spotted an apparition moving quite rapidly that appeared to be an old lady carrying a bag. The official cleared out quick and was told later that it was a fairly common sighting, one of several at similar sites. Now, this news source has obtained a short video taken by 12-year-old. I'm not putting his name in here because I haven't spoke to him to ask his permission. Who lives just opposite it, filming out his bedroom window, spotted something moving in a window earlier and got his phone out to see what it was because he could zoom on the phone.
Yeah.
And what he captured is what appeared to be a figure that stands in the window before turning away. And his mom said she and her son took a walk around the building to see if there was any signs of life, any sign of anybody breaking in. The mother has said it would not be easy at all to break into the building. Ground floor is completely boarded up. There were folk trying to get in via the roof, but they couldn't get in. There's no amenities connected to the building, no electric, no water, no nothing. And it was being prepared for demolition. At the end of my street at home.
Okay.
So at the end of my street at home. There's nothing there now because, as you saw, the demo truck's in and the others.
Yeah.
Now, you shared the video and said about it, people saying it was an old lady walking through there, blah, 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 blah. I can see the old lady. If you just put a video on and said, "Oh, this was posted, what do you think of it?" Me personally, I would have seen that as a teenager in a grey hoodie with a hood up, going in, having an explore around the building, or maybe going in there to do drugs or just be nosy of the building or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first when I heard the story. But when I saw the video, it's absolutely 100%. It's an old woman. Say the video that was
translucent of the figure, isn't it? The translucent quality as well.
That's definitely an interesting one. That is definitely
that's for the end of my street. I had originally had 3 stories, but while you've been talking, I remembered this one and I remembered another one. So yeah. But that's the end of my street and the building doesn't exist anymore.
Is there anything?
I haven't heard any reports from the building that's there now, though.
Oh, there is a building there.
Anything's happened.
There is a building there now. There is a new building
there. There is a building there now. It is now like a rescue temporarily homeless mom and kids place. Now, and I haven't heard any stories come out of it since it's been that. Not yet, anyway.
When was this video filmed?
Sorry, 2 seconds.
That video is about 2014, 2015.
Okay. So I was about to say, it was just a little bit ago. It's that they put up that new building quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
Boom! It's gone. Okay, we got a new building right here.
Although it seems they do put them up that quickly nowadays.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Uh-huh.
So that's the first one, but we'll see how we go as to how many others get popped up.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, do you want to hear my second story? My second experience took part, it must have been about 2013, I think it was. My dad had been ill he's passed now. He'd been ill for a number of years, and we were regularly blue lighted in and out of hospital to the New Edinburgh Infirmary, which is a big new hospital, by definition.
Sorry, I just remembered I hadn't taken my insulin.
And there was one occasion he was blue lighted in the ambulance, and it was the age-old story. He got taken through to the acute admissions unit, blah blah. But then you had to hang about there for a very long time before any decision was made if he was going to be admitted or whatever. And he was also diabetic as well. He had cancer and he was diabetic, and he had all sorts of myriad of health problems, heart problems. So I'd gone in the ambulance. I'd got the phone call from my mum saying, "You better come out, your dad's not good." So get the ambulance and in you go. And we'd been hanging about in the acute admissions. We must have been there for a good 5 or 6 hours. And he needed something to eat. He's diabetic and he needed to eat. And I'd said to, the staff,
oh, we lost Eileen.
We're back again. We all went in. We'd been in there for a number of hours. He was diabetic and he was beginning to crash, and he needed something to eat. Normally, I would have taken a little emergency bag in with me, but I didn't expect to be hanging about for such a long time. And the only food that was available was the usual sweeties and crisps in the vending machine in the waiting room. And I said to the guys, "Look, that won't do. He's diabetic. I need some proper food." And he said, "Well, come with me." And he took me. I don't know, do any of you know the Edinburgh Infirmary, the new one? There's a big kind of entrance hall, which is about a typical new hospital, must be about 100 yards long. And it's like a shopping mall with shops and banks and such like. And then there's a big, it's very high. It's like 3 stories high, open, a big reception area and all these shops and hairdressers and blah, blah. And at night time, it's all locked off. So you can't get into this area of the hospital. But in that area of the hospital, just to one of the side corridors, there's a staff canteen. And there's real food, and they also have real food and vending machines in there. The public can't use it, but it's ostensibly staff. So I'd spoken to the security guy, and the security guy said, "I'll let you into the main hall, and you can go and see what's left in the vending machine in the canteen. Real food, not crisps and sweeties." So I said, "Fine, that's good." It was all locked off. Opened the door up and I walked in, and it's in total darkness other than emergency lighting and the exit signs. It was, really quite dark, and I had to put my phone light on to actually see where I was going. And he said, "I'm going to have to lock the door behind you because I shouldn't be letting you in here to begin with, but it's a bit of an emergency, so I'll let you in." So he's kind of shoved me through the door and locked me in. Well, I've never experienced anything like it. It was like I felt this rush of energy just hit me. I don't know if you've been at a fireworks exhibition and they let off really big fireworks, so you get that sort of power.
And you get the vibration through.
Well, that's exactly what hit me. The minute I got into this kind of hit me. And right away, the heckle stood up, and it was it really kind of shook me a little bit. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to walk the length of this entrance hall to get to the staff canteen. And I started to walk, and then I could hear, it was like hundreds of voices all whispering. Nothing that you could make out. It was just like that many voices all at the same time whispering.
Almost like tinnitus.
Yes, yes. So I started to walk down, and of course it was dark, and I was having to look where I was going, avoid chairs and benches, and with my little phone light on. And I then got that. I've experienced this in investigations where it's like you're walking through cobwebs.
Yeah.
You're never experiencing that, and it's like fingers going across your face.
I was always, because I grew up in a spiritualist family, I was always told when you had that sensation, and if you're sure it definitely wasn't a cobweb you walked through, that was spirit touching your aura, and interacting with your aura.
Well, there was no way it was that many spiders. I had to, and this continued for, the time it took me to get to the bottom. And I managed to find the door and get out the door and get into the staff canteen. And all the while, all I'm hearing is all these voices and like this all over me, not just my face. I could feel like fingers, like this all the time. And I got into the canteen area and I found the vending machines, which were fortunate. They were still powered up and lit up. So the visibility was a little bit better. And looking for coins, and got the coins in, and there was about half a dozen sandwiches left. Didn't even know what was in them. I thought they'll have to do, put the money in, push the buttons, error message, nothing would come out. Banging on it, shaking it, nothing would come out. Got more coins out, more coins in, error message, nothing was coming out. And by this point, I was really getting quite, agitated, and I started to sort of, I don't know who I was talking to, if I felt I was talking to spirit or was I just talking to myself. And I just said, for God's sake, can I just get sandwiches and get out of here? I just want to get the food and I'm going. And then all of a sudden, crash, and the remaining sandwiches dropped into the drawer. After I'd said, all that I want is sandwiches. Give me the sandwiches and I'm going. And crashed, into the little thing that you collect. So I hurriedly put them all in the bags and found my way back out. But I was pursued the whole time I was in there. I had this and the noise, and it was a cacophony, and it got louder and louder and louder, until I managed to get to the door. And I must have looked like Jack Nicholson at the Shining Hotel. In the end, let me out.
Why I'm actually wondering is I'm wondering if it was an auditory time slip.
Don't know, but it was.
So if it's
I know you said you were feeling.
It was. Do you know? It was that people say, was it not a horrible feeling that you were touched? Well, yes, it was. But my abiding memory was the shock wave that hit me. When the guy pushed me in and locked me in, it was this whoosh.
Yeah, you're not welcome.
Did you feel that it was nasty, or
no? I felt it was more inquisitive,
curious,
inquisitive rather than malicious.
What are you doing here, kind of a thing?
Yeah, who are you?
It was a sheer number that obviously I couldn't see them. But it was like, to me, it sounded like hundreds of voices, hundreds.
And if there had been a staff, has that always been a staff area, that part of the hospital?
At the bottom, no, it's ostensibly a staff canteen, but the public, if it's there, you can use it. But the area that I had to walk through is the main reception area, and the main body of it's like a big atrium.
That's why I was wondering if it's like possibly some sort of time slip. Like auditory time slip, because a hospital, as everyone knows, hospitals are packed permanently. And as you was going through there, the sensation could have been possibly them trying to sort of like their time and your time interlink, and you're hearing all the people like going about doing a day-to-day thing in the hospital, like staff and. But
no, it didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like the noise of people going about their business. It sounded like people talking about me.
Oh.
It sounded like,
which would go with the curiosity.
It sounded like It sounded like discussion rather than the normal noises of people walking about.
Yeah,
and
who's
doing
this? What's she
Yes.
doing? What?
And
Yeah.
that combined with all this that was going on.
And have you had to go back to the hospital and experience anything similar again?
Oh, I mean, I was in the hospital 2 or 3 times a week at that time.
Had,
But
yeah.
that's the only time that I was ever in that position. You know,
I'm quite jealous, really.
This was sort of 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, this was in the early hours of the morning.
Which at night time, generally, even like hospitals or a lot, you'll hear the hum of the machines.
It's
quieter, so you'll be
it's
more
very
likely
quiet
to
in
hear.
hospital that late at night.
This area is all completely locked off.
You know how quiet it is.
Because it's like the shopping mall
actually,
area, you know, after about 8 o'clock at night, that area is all locked off. So there's no access to it at all. The only reason I got access was to get food from the vending machine.
I must admit, I'm quite envious of that.
It was.
That would have been fantastic.
It was memorable. Let me say that it was memorable, and it was. I was kind of, you know, I've gone through all this and I can't get the bloody sandwiches out of this machine. And it was in desperation. I just said, just give me the effing sandwiches and I'll go. And they just ran and they just dropped down. I don't even know what was in them. I just picked them up and ran, you know.
I am really envious. That sounds like that was fantastic.
Well, it's memorable. Right. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Right. Let's see if I can find the ones I've got. So I've got, they're more to do with my late adoptive mother. Right, where are we? We'll go for this one first. Right. This is Langthorne Hospital in Leytonstone. That's the main, that was originally the main entrance building. And to the right there, you got to see the building to the right. There's a roadway that goes down there that led to the hospital kitchens, where my mum was head cook there. Let me turn it off. There was a guy that worked in maintenance. He was called Rocky. Everyone called him Rocky. This is 1970. I don't know how old would I have been. So it'd been 1978 or 1979. So like just before the films and all that. So I never found out why he got the name Rocky, and he'd never tell anyone how he got the name Rocky. But he's a maintenance guy. He worked on the same team as one of my uncles that worked there. Like I said, my mum was a head cook in there, and he was down in the cellars of the kitchen doing some work on I think a fridge or whatever it was he was on down there. He'd been down there about 10 minutes, and he goes, I could really do with help. So he shouted out, can you call ahead? I need someone to come down and give me a hand. And he was down there doing a bit of work. Someone came down and gave him a hand for there about 10 minutes, 9 minutes. And they fixed whatever it was I was fixing. And then somebody come walking down the stairs. And I went, I'm sorry I've taken so long. I've come to help you fix it. He went, I just had a bloke come and fix it with me. And I went, well, no, I've only just got the message. And they spoke briefly. And apparently it was the old caretaker of the hospital that had come down and helped him.
Who was deceased?
Sorry? Yeah.
So
he'd been gone quite a few years. And he'd been down there for about 9 or 10 minutes fixing the problem. And I was having a conversation while I was doing it, and the bloke was going, oh, this used to happen. That. And the reason that stands out in my mind, because one of my great uncles was like it as well. Do you know the old tin cups, coffee cups you can get, like for camping?
Yeah.
He was a huge tea drinker, and somebody had buckled a cup, and he was telling us about that. And this was on a Boxing Day, because the family always used to get together at my nan's on Boxing Day. And my mum had said that Rocky had said this. He was talking to this guy, and he said he had a tin cup, and he was a massive tea drinker. And obviously, he never washed it. He only ever rinsed it out. He had all the tannin on the inside of it.
Yeah. That's a good cup.
Yeah, he goes, that's what made a perfect cup of tea.
Exhibit A.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like one of these proper tin things, like what the soldiers would have used.
Yeah,
really,
the proper old ones, the wee white things.
Aye.
No,
The wee blue line around the top.
Things with
Yeah, that's the ones.
Yeah. Well, apparently this guy, while he was working with Rocky, had said that he loved his tea, and he'd gone, do you know what? You need tannin in the bottom of the cup.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They had a proper conversation.
Yeah, he goes, I had a perfect cup, but it turns out he said that somebody he'd trained had washed the cup with soap and water and got rid of all the tannin. So, and it reminded me of that when they were saying about the cup. It reminded me of that.
And what was Rocky's reaction when he was told that was somebody, you know?
Apparently, he took about a week off.
Yeah.
And
I must admit, I'm the same with my cup at work, and I used to get, when I first started, you get people taking the mick. Oh, look at the state of it. And one dick decided he was going to do just that. He scrubbed it and left it on my desk, and I threw it at him.
So I'm an absolutely huge coffee drinker, as everyone knows, but no, I can't have any staining inside the cup. Just to even look at it.
I'm okay with it, like as I've just showed you. But my one at home literally gets to the point that the tannin from the coffee is like wallpaper.
Yeah,
and then I have to scrub it. Yeah, see, look, he's nodding. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, like I said to him, I said, what the hell is it going to do with you? How I like my cup. Oh, you stupid. Yeah, but it's my cup. My mug.
Yeah, as long as you're not drinking out of it, who cares? You know?
What the hell is it going to do with you?
I had a couple one time in the Navy that wound up, it was just flaking off. You go pour yourself a cup and you see the flakes coming off of this stuff on the side. Like,
I'd rather keep a stir fried down, thanks.
And the old boy, did he ever come back again? Or was it, nobody ever seen him again?
I've no idea whatever happened to Rocky, but he did come back. And he carried on working at the hospital until like when did
he ever meet the deceased again, or
not that I know of?
Just a one-off kind of.
Well, it sounds like from what you said, he was a regular visitor. He obviously enjoyed his job there.
Yeah.
To be going
in. Toolbox.
Sorry?
Did you have a toolbox?
I don't know. I remember hearing this when I was a nipper, so that's why I'm a bit. I can't remember the full amount of details.
It must be quite alarming to actually, after the event, to be told that the person you'd had a good 10-minute conversation and interaction with wasn't actually there. That must be really quite disturbing, eh?
Yeah,
especially if they were helping you work on the equipment.
Exactly.
There's a video going around. There's a video going around at the moment. It's nothing to do with hospitals. It's these boys in like a big shipping yard or whatever. And this guy's got to move. You know the massive 6-7 foot rolls of cable.
Yeah.
This boy's got to move one of them, and the boy that's supposed to be on with him is off sick. So he's like, right, well, I'm going to try and move it myself. And as he starts trying to move it, he hears a voice from him saying, hang on, you direct me, I'll push it, I'm younger than you. So he does. He gets out of the way. The young lad pushes it, and he turns around to thank him, and before he can say thank you, the guy's gone. So he goes into the office, and he's like, going to go and check the camera. I need to see who that is so I can tell them thank you, or at least get them a coffee. There's nobody else on the camera with him. You see him step out of the way, and he's nodding like he's talking to somebody, and you see the roll move, but there's nobody there.
Either Ian or Joe shared one like that the other week. Security guards talking.
Talking to nobody. Yeah.
Well,
the little girl.
That was a hospital one, eh?
There's
one I've seen where exactly the same thing.
standing in front of the double doors talking to
Oh
somebody.
yes,
He's
yes.
talking to somebody,
And,
and then he goes and gets a wheelchair, and he's actually wheels them into the
Yeah.
building.
Oh, I think I've
Yeah.
seen
There's
Yeah.
no one in it.
a
But
touch
he's
of Randall and
cool.
Hopkirk about it all, isn't there?
Yeah,
I
well,
used
yeah.
to love that show. So
Uh-huh.
it's a shame, really, because Mags has been dead, 5 or 6 years now. So unfortunately, I can't get her to remind me exactly the full details of it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But I just remember it vividly from because I used to get on really well with Rocky. He used to put me up on his shoulders and run me around the car park and things. He was a lovely guy.
There's
He really
absolutely
was.
no way you can say that,
That
is
was only
residual,
about-
can you?
That was
I mean,
only about 10 years ago.
Old
But-
looking 10-year-old.
you can't. There's no argument to say that is residual, is there? Because the guy's
When you have a
actually
full conversation.
helping me and problem solving with me. So I mean, how more intelligent can you get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the same sort of thing, but a number of years back when I lived in Leyston, my two neighbours, they were a lot younger than me. They was like 27 and 28, but they was into that sort of thing. And we would just get in their car and randomly find like a churchyard or something. And we'd like do an investigation there. And I was standing there and I kept getting the sensation this woman, and I can't remember the details, but it was like it was this, and her daughter, she died during childbirth, and a few days after she died, the baby died, and this, that, and the other. And I've got all these names and that, and they're like, yeah, sort of thing. Like what you would do. And as I was walking through the graveyard, I went over there. They walked over and they actually found the gravestone. And that's literally just sent a shiver down my spine right now. Either that or Sharon's there. But it's like, how do these things happen? Do we, as Ian, I think as Ian said before, do we go into their time or do they come into ours?
Yeah.
You know?
We take your time as linear.
Yeah. And it's not.
Who's saying it is?
Right, so back to you, young Joe.
All right, let's see. I got some pictures.
Yep.
There's one.
Whoever's watching, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Let me
Go
put
on.
up another one.
That's a big one.
Yeah, this what used to be
I
Linda Vista
recognize
Hospital.
that one.
Yeah, this used to be Linda Vista Hospital in Los Angeles. And there's stories about this place when it was in operation. There were stories about this place where gangbangers would be brought in, shot, and the doctor. One story I remember hearing was the doctor couldn't fix the gangbanger that was shot, so his buddies came up and shot the doctor.
Jesus.
Because he couldn't save the other person. That kind of level of stuff was going on in the emergency room here in this hospital. It's a beautiful old building.
Really makes you want to work there.
Yeah. But Linda Vista is what it used to be called. There's a beautiful parking lot. Now
Wrong one.
did I put that one back up? Dang it.
Yeah, you put the wrong one back up.
Let me remove that. Let me put the right one up here if I've got it. But
that's an immense building.
yeah, it's pretty
Is
big.
I've seen a few
is it
films
still a
of it
hospital
from there,
now?
I know.
Is it still used as
I don't know what
hospital?
happened to it. There was another picture that I had in here, but they've gone and they've started turning this hospital into condos.
All right.
I had heard that condos in this building were going to be for older folks, retirement type home. But they had taken. Go ahead.
That's just reminded me of something I read in the local Edinburgh Evening News just a few weeks ago. There was an old maternity hospital in Edinburgh, a very famous one called the Elsie Ingalls, and that was converted into what you would call condos, apartments. And the majority of people who bought them once they were converted, they've all got them up for sale because of things that are happening.
Yeah. The picture that I had, maybe I still have one in here. Just a second. I've got it here. Let me see if I can. Oh, come on.
Particularly in the likes of that place, Joe, with a history like that, quite a violent history. as well. You know, how would you feel comfortable actually living in there, knowing what's going on?
I might, but once they started doing all this kind of stuff to the place, here's the other picture I've got. Let me bring it up.
Yep.
But this is the old hospital, and geez, where is it? There it is. This other building here, the new picture I just popped up, that is the refurbished psych wing. This used to be the psychiatric building where they had the cells and the padded rooms and all the crazy stuff that goes in there. And they made it look pretty. And now it's all regular, normal condos for people who want to live there.
You could never tell, would you?
Well, it looks very nice.
But the main fabric of the building will still hold the past.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of energy is in there. When they were opening up, or when they were starting to get ready to build the other one into old folks apartment type things, assisted living and all that, I think part of it was going to be regular and part of it was going to be assisted living. I got my mom to agree to go over there with me and walk through the place. You know, put her in her wheelchair and walk through it. Would you like to live here, Mom? And I was just looking for ghosts. But she thought it'd be fun. Let's go do it. So,
exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Well, how mercenary.
This was the old surgery, and you wake up and there's someone stood over you with a scalpel.
Yeah. and Mom told me that she would never live there. You know, once we got out and got back in the car, she said, no matter what they did, she'd never live in that place.
It's like people who buy apartments that used to be prisoners, big jails and things now. That seems to be a thing in this country, in the UK now. The old churches are being converted, you know.
There
must be some interesting occurrences if you're living in a situation like that.
Between where the kids live and Maidstone, there's a church there that somebody's actually converted into a house as well. The churches seem to be a thing that's starting to be converted a lot lately.
Yeah, there's one in Bolton that got converted into flats.
And there's one up at an old church up in Delaware.
Quite a posh hotel.
Airbnb, yeah.
The one Ian just mentioned, I think that was on Grand Designs.
Right.
It's the same thing. People are drawn to that sort of thing. It's like these people who go, oh, I know he's on death row for multiple murders, but he's such a lovely fella.
Hi.
I'm gonna be his pen pal, and maybe we'll get married.
And he won't do anything to me. Yeah, just run your throat up and down that see it's sharp.
I'm not being funny. Like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, how many women asked him to marry them?
Yeah,
it's insane.
Is it just bragging rights? You know, I dated Ramirez. You know, I dated whoever. Is that just bragging rights or what?
Well, I don't know, because some of them they come out with this story and it's plausible, and you look at them thinking, really? It sounds so plausible. Oh, and we've never met, but he writes me these lovely letters and all that. Yeah, I'd love to wear your skin. And
oh no, didn't one of the Crays was getting married in jail? Didn't some strange woman go into the jail and marry one of the Crays?
Yes.
I don't get that.
That was up in Norwich.
That's right. And do you know what, Carl? When the one that was ill, that was released early, I don't know if it was Ronnie or Reggie. The one that was released because he was dying. They actually, when he was released from jail, they put him in a hotel that was about 150 yards away from where I lived in Norwich, and he died in that hotel.
Yeah. But again, that shows we have a passion for. We create this thing for them. They were horrendous thugs. They killed people. They maimed them. But we hold them up as, they were such wonderful people.
Yeah.
All of them on thieves and all that. And
there's no such bloody thing.
We're saying the other week, like Ed Gein, for instance, you know, it was known that he killed at least 3 people, but he took the body parts of about 90, they reckon. There's a company in America that has made furniture, like stuff that he done with real human people, and it's selling through the roof. People have a morbid fascination about this sort of thing for some reason. So, right, Ian, what's your next one?
My next one is, where is it? Changi Old Hospital.
I've heard that name from somewhere.
Which is, if I can get me, it's in Singapore.
Changi, Singapore.
Yeah.
That was the airport, Changi Airport.
Yeah. It was established in the 1930s as part of the Royal Air Force. Witnessed the horrors of World War II, serving as both a sanctuary for the wounded. But in 1942, it was taken over by the Japanese. And they had torture chambers in there. It was taken over by, how do you pronounce that? Kemptepe, who were basically the Japanese military police. And
sounds like a lot of fun went on there.
Oh yeah, there's horrendous tortures and stuff like that. I put a few photos.
When you see Japanese in any kind of that kind of context, you know it's going to be pretty gruesome, don't you?
Yeah, but this goes back to what we were saying before about. They talk about horrendous with the beheadings, but to the Japanese that was an honourable way of dying.
It was the torture that went on prior to
it. Was everything else that went on before it. But this one you've got up now, the 2 windows that you can see below Changi Hospital. There's a photo. I've been trying to get over
one on the left.
Yeah, there's a photo that someone took. There's a figure stood in that doorway, in that window. The one on the left. And the buildings was empty. There was no one in there. It was left to its own devices. But there's the usual things, people reporting, screams, shadow people, there's people walking about. If you look in that top window, just above Changi Hospital.
Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can zoom in. No, I can't, unfortunately.
There does look to be a figure stood in that window.
It looks like something.
It looks like it too.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
That's interesting.
But it like I said, the people have broken in, they begin using it as they're seeing people in uniforms walking around, they're seeing nurses walking around. They down where the torture chamber is. I thought I'd got a photo of the actual torture chamber.
I don't think it's going to like me. No, I was going to try and put it through art package to see if I can zoom in on it, but it won't let me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Bear with me a second. Let's see if I can get this up.
And for people that are watching, if you can subscribe as well, that'd be very much appreciated. We're on 121 subscribers now. So
excellent.
We're getting noticed.
Yeah, this one that I've just put in.
Right, hold on. I'm going to do this first. Do that first.
Yep.
Right. This one?
This one. This is one of the hallways, but this is one of the areas that people have seen people walking down in uniform.
That door that right down the very end. I'm just wondering if that's dirt on it. I really should have brought my glasses in.
Yeah, no, I think it is just
just light or something on the end of it.
The pattern on the wall.
Yeah, looks like there's something could be mold or something on the wall back there.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see it on the door next to the doorway close to us. You can see the pattern on the wall. Like I said, the building's open to the elements and everything. So
yeah.
But people who've been in this particular corridor is, like I said, they've seen people walking down in uniform when there's no one there. They've disappeared. They've heard people talking. There's something squeaking.
Yeah.
I just turned off my mic. I can't. It's not coming from me.
No,
it's weird squeaky.
It's coming from Ian dreams. It only seems to come on when Ian talks. Have you got your phone on?
No, I've got nothing on.
Oh. Weird.
Well, move forward again, just see if it's that chair.
No, it's not a chair.
No,
it was happening before he came back in the room, too.
This one does.
Yeah, no, it sounded before like a cat meowing.
My cat's here, but she's sleeping.
Yeah,
Madam will be missing me. But she's not here.
600 miles away.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
She's relaxing.
She'll take that he use you with the contempt you deserve when you get back.
Oh yeah.
Just that image alone and the thought of things that went on there, that's just
horrible.
That's creepy. Mm-hmm. That's really powerful and creepy. Ooh.
Yeah, it's horrendous what they got up to, the Japanese and that. But like I said, that first one I put up, there's actually lad was going past taking photos, and it was only after he'd spotted.
That is definitely creepy. That's not. Let me get rid of that picture now. So so we're over to I think Linda now.
Okay. I have now got too many options. So we have personal experience in a newish hospital.
What about the one?
We have
what about
the hospital that isn't a hospital anymore.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. The one you took Colin to.
Okay. Well, the one he took me to.
Yeah.
So.
That's where I used to go with my grandfather every week. We'd wander around the woods and things, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
No,
my kids are really loving that sort of stuff.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Where's me? I'm trying to load the photos at the same times. So first off, we have what the area looks like now. That's the chapel that was in the middle of a hospital.
All right.
Then I'm going to give you.
Now, see, to me, that looks like an image you'd see on I don't know, episode of It or something. Like
it's blurry enough that it could be a Bigfoot picture or a Loch Ness picture.
Yeah.
There's no blur
and this
there
next
if you look on the water, you can see the trail.
Yeah, but Joe, we know Bigfoot's not real because somebody took a photograph of it dead on the side of the road a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, Bigfoot's dead.
And Nessie lives.
Me and Eileen have got this thing about this, and she's convinced.
Nessie is real. I tell you.
There has been a recent sighting as well, hasn't there, actually?
Especially in the months of June, July, and August.
When all the tourists are there?
Where Carl's swimming.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's what it looked like in the 1920s. You see the church bell tower is still in the middle?
Where is this, Linda?
Now
that's relatively large.
That's a hospital.
Yeah.
Where is this?
The Royal Victoria Military Hospital.
Wow.
It's in Netley down here in Southampton.
It's huge,
And
isn't it?
That looks like a
when
palace.
it was first when it was first completed in 1863, it was the longest building in the world.
My goodness.
Quarter of a mile long from one end to the other.
And then that was all
That's a lot of
demolished and
nails.
just left
Jesus.
the chapel.
Yep. So when we went, it was just the chapel.
Yeah.
And Colin and his dad says, oh, well, there used to be a hospital there. And I'm wandering round. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So it was. Here's this. Here's that. We're going down corridors. I actually stopped in my tracks and gave Colin a round for walking through the walls and freaking out the patients. I made him walk behind me so that we were using the doorways.
You don't know that he didn't. Like say, there's that time lapse, a wee ghost to them.
Yeah.
Well, at first I thought nobody
crap out of someone, Colin.
I thought nobody was paying attention to us, and we walked into one room, and to him, we're just walking around the playing field. As you can see in the other photo, it's just a park, right?
Yeah.
But we walked into this one room, and there was a guy playing the mouth organ, and he stopped dead and looked right at me when we walked in the doorway. And I'm like,
my point,
sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going through, and I'm like, right, you got people on this side of the corridor that have burns. There's a couple amputees on this side of the corridor. But at the far end, which I can't find a historical reason for, at the far end of that corridor, we could hear babies crying. So at the time, I presumed...
wives.
Yeah, that's what I was presuming at the time. But now I've researched the history of it. There was nothing to do with maternity. Basically, they were given permission in 1856 to build this. They bought 109 acres off of a member of parliament who owned the land there.
Oh, that's good.
And then by the time you get into April 1856, they compulsory purchased the rest of the land. So all that's behind the main block also became part of the hospital.
Bloody hell.
The longest building in the world, 1/4 mile long, 138 wards, over 1,000 beds. Now that's just the main building. Jeez. The main building cost 350 grand. They had to, because of the sheer scale of it, create a reservoir, a gasworks, its own pier that was 560 foot long, its own railway line, which is still visible in the road that goes through the park. You can still see the tracks.
Yep.
Welcome to whoever that is.
In 1903, they had to build their own electricity station because it's so big. Then World War I, they added a hut hospital behind it, which changed the beds from 1,000 to 2,500. During World War I, 50,000 patients were treated. During World War II, 68,000 patients were treated in June 1940 alone.
Oh.
1944, it became the US 28th General Hospital. The pier was demolished in 1955, but they'd already blown a hole in it during the Second World War because it couldn't get out to deep water, so it was kind of useless.
Yeah.
Place went up in fire in 1963, demolished in 1966. But when it was built, Queen Victoria had done a time capsule under the foundation stone.
Oh, yeah.
While it was occupied, Victoria gave 3 Victoria Crosses to patients there. The capsule that she did was uncovered on the 7th of December 1966. The original plans were vetoed and had to be redrawn back in the 1800s by a particular lady that you might have heard of. Her first name is Florence and her second name is Nightingale. Also,
I don't
Sherlock
know how
Holmes,
to.
The Study in Scarlet, Dr. Watson explains how he was trained at Netley Hospital and how to become a military surgeon. Later on, the bit that I found really cool, but I can't find where it was, so we're going looking later on this week. D Block was named after Victoria, was added in 1870 as the Army's first purpose-built military asylum. It was still used up until 1978. By 1978, it had become the military STD drug and alcohol treatment centre.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it eventually became the Joint Armed Services Psych Ward.
Yeah.
But the funny bit about the asylum now, the asylum now,
changes.
the asylum nowadays, the bit that was the asylum, is now the training headquarters for Hampshire Constabulary.
Christ. That's been a lot. I don't know how true it is, but I remember hearing that Florence Nightingale, even though she's one of the most famous nurses, she was only a nurse for about 3 years. Then a patient died, and then she spent 40 years of her life in bedridden. I saw that on a documentary. How true that is, I don't know, but I saw that on a documentary.
Yeah, I've not come across anything that would agree with that.
Yeah.
There was suspicions that she was having an affair with the Prime Minister Palmerston, because anything she wanted, Palmerston gave her.
Yeah. That's why there were babies in the hospital.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. You're saying about Sherlock Holmes. I was reading something the other day about the ghost stories. Arthur Conan Doyle wrote a ghost story. Well, he wrote several, but it gave a bit of a biopsy on him, biograph thing on him, and it said that he based Sherlock Holmes on because he was a doctor himself. He trained as a doctor and everything, and he based Sherlock Holmes on one of the doctors I've just realised at that hospital, as was Dr. Watson.
Wow. Right.
That
Who shared
is
this one?
the inside of the bell tower of the chapel. It's 150 foot high. And if the ground floor of the chapel is like a museum, so there's artifacts and displays from the life and times of the hospital coming through to the modern times. But for a fee, you can go up the tower. That is at the bottom of the second floor, looking straight up. I was allowed to go up there and ring the bell. Now, the chapel tour. The chapel was opened as a visitor centre in 2018. As I say, the tower's 150 foot high, and you've got a panoramic view across Southampton Water, Isle of Wight, and the South Downs National Park. But the fact that they let you ring the bell is amazing.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I've shown that one. It's briefly reminded us. I did apply for a job here. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Eileen might recognise it. Where are we? There we go. There. The Great Hospital in Norwich.
That's the old Norwich. That's the old one.
Yep. Extremely old building. It's one of the only buildings in the country that's still got a swannery in there.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's apparently actually I think it's one of the only ones in Europe. It's now mostly old age pensioners there.
They've
But
got a hospital, haven't they now?
Allegedly, this area is regularly walked by monks. That's why I actually went for the job there, because I knew I'd heard stories of it being haunted. So that's why I wanted a job there, but unfortunately I didn't get the job.
That's almost like the cloisters at the Norwich Cathedral, isn't it?
It's right up.
It is very much like a cloister setup. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like Harry Potter.
Yeah. But
yeah,
you can,
same thing.
You can see the size of the site. You can see the size of the site, and you can see the church that's part of there. I'm trying to remember where the swannery was. Where that round bit of grass is down at the bottom, it's just off there, just off to the right of there is where the swannery was. It's like I said, one of the only ones left remaining in Europe. So technically it's owned by the king now. So, but no, that wasn't the one I was going to go for. The one I was going to, I just seen that building, and Eileen had been in Norwich, lived in Norwich for a while. Just thought you might remember it. But I'm really upset I didn't get the job there, unfortunately. But these are where they go. Right, this one. Whips Cross Hospital, the place where I was born.
Is there a blue plaque somewhere saying Carl was born here?
No, they didn't want to let people know. So, but here we've got Hollow Ponds, which is literally right opposite. Between there, you got the main road and the big roundabout. Now, in the 80s, one of my father's brothers had been on a cleanup crew because people throw in bicycles and shopping trolleys and that kind of thing in there. They actually pulled out the bodies of 90 babies. It's well known for supposed hauntings. Alleged people have claimed to have seen Dick Turpin there and all sorts of things. Allegedly, you regularly hear babies crying. I was too young to investigate then when I lived around that way. Supposedly, you hear babies crying. So the fact that 90 babies' bodies were found, but the hospital was literally where this brown bit of dirt and grass is. There's a road by the side of that, and opposite on the other side of the road is the hospital. Apparently, unmarried mothers during the war would come out with newborn babies and throw them in the lake.
Yeah.
That happened in Edinburgh. There was a huge, big, old Victorian-style boating pond in Edinburgh, and they emptied it and dredged it about maybe 10 years ago, and they found a lot of bodies, mainly babies and young children.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. That's a horrifying thought that somebody can give birth and then 10 days later, or however long back then it was, until they left the hospital because they didn't want their husbands to know they had a baby with one of the troops or something. They would just throw the baby in the lake to drown. So, and it's not. It's probably about 60 miles from me, so I might go down there one day. But I want to do the suicide pond in Epping, but it's so dangerous down Epping nowadays, especially with everything that's going on in the Epping areas, the hotels as well. But we won't go there. Well, who's next for the next one? Eileen, have you got any more?
No, really just those two experiences that I've had. I'm sure there must be really
personal.
Yes, I've
got another.
I mean, hospitals, by definition, they must hold so much residual, mustn't they? You think of the angst and the suffering and the pain and just the human despair that has happened in hospitals down the ages. It's no wonder.
It makes me wonder how much of it is residual and how much of it is intelligent. Because if you was in hospital in a lot of pain with whatever and you died in there, are you really going to want to stay in the locate?
You wouldn't think so, would you?
Somebody just marked that because I saw something at my bedroom door a second ago.
149.
Right, okay. I'll check it back. It could have been smoke that I saw from a cigarette. But I thought I saw something there. Yeah, but if you, I don't know, if you died during childbirth and your child grew up without you, are you really going to want to be in the location where you died and your child survived, or would you want to be in the house where your child was growing up so you could watch over them?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
You're going to be in the house.
Yeah, I think a lot of hospital stuff does tend to be residual stone turn. For that very reason. It's the pain, the agony, and all the rest of it.
But Nancy,
personal experience
was very aware of me, and I was very aware of her.
Yeah, but
from
what you've said, Eileen, she obviously had a good time there. She obviously, if she'd grown up there and didn't know any difference, that to her was home. She wouldn't know any difference.
She didn't come across, she didn't appear to be in any kind of distress, you know.
No, exactly.
No, none at all.
I
Just
mean,
interest, you know, standing there.
Certain people got treated badly, but doesn't mean everyone did.
No, and you know, there was something quite comforting and peaceful about her when she was around as well. You know, I don't know what it was. There was a strange sort of aura about her. She seemed to bring just a sense of peace with her. You know, so
I don't know about everyone else, but I have found that myself.
Oh, is this the Liverpool one?
This is Newsham Hospital in Liverpool.
Newsham,
and
very similar to what Eileen said, from what I've heard.
It was 1890s. It was originally started as an orphanage. Patients, many of them with afflictions like homosexuality, were kept at asylums. They deemed it an affliction or an illness. Were kept at places like this, but yeah, not a great place. Some horrific stories going back. Like I say, it started in 1874 as an orphanage for seamen, children of seamen. In 1954, it became Newsham Park Hospital, a psychiatric facility. It was eventually closed. It stopped taking patients in 88 and was evacuated and closed in 1997.
Yeah, Perry's just took it back and he's pretty much confirmed it was only just a cigarette. Thanks for that.
That's it.
Now, the image in the middle on the left is the bit where they used to lock the naughty boys in the cupboards.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never been. I've wanted to go there, but Liverpool from where I am is a hell of a long way. And
for years, I was drawn to it.
I am drawn to it, but
I kept getting. I'd hear about it, and I actually arranged to go on a tour because you can't go yourself.
Yeah, you got to be in groups, haven't you?
You got to be in groups. So I actually arranged to go on it, and pardon my French, the bastards went bang and took everyone's money.
No,
really?
Yeah, and then they shut the place.
So is it not open to investigation at all now?
It has opened up again, yes. But for years they shut it. And it was just after this had kicked off.
This one definitely catches my attention, though.
This one, they took the photo. The woman who's there, you could tell, just tell by the colouring.
Yeah.
She's doesn't look like any of the others, but she was. No one remembers her at all. And the people she stood next to don't remember her. The couple who
looks like she's got my hairdo.
Yeah,
yeah.
She seems quite cheery.
She's definitely got a smile on her face.
Huge, massive smile.
See, now,
the couple who were behind her.
I thought you can't see them very well.
You can't see them particularly well, but when they were spoken to,
Mm.
she wasn't there. There was no one in front of them.
Do you think she was a paranormal investigator passed on who came out to say, I'll show you this?
Possibly.
I think that at first,
she's very social, whoever she was.
Yeah.
Mm.
At first look, unfortunately my cynic brain comes in. At first look, I'd just say, well, there's a lot of people there. You're not going to remember every single face. But then when you compare the colour, when you compare her colour to the colour of the skins of the other people, that's kind of strong.
You know, if you're having your photo taken, whether there's someone stood in front of you.
Yeah.
You might not remember the face, but you certainly remember someone stood there.
And she does look like an adult, but she looks right. She's very short.
Yes. Well, if you look at the woman next to her on her left,
and the size of her face compared to the others as well.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Her face is a lot smaller than the ones behind her.
That might be worth sharing in Paranormal Anglia, actually. I think people might like that.
Well, this is, I don't know whether it was the group, but it's on a group page. So
that's Haunted Happenings, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was, because I know there's a team, Fourth Element, based in Liverpool. John Griffiths started it about 15 years ago. I think it's about 12 in the team now. The guy that is a caretaker has said a lot of the stories about that place, especially in, like I said, this one with where the little boys were locked in the rooms.
Yeah.
A lot of the stories he made up himself.
Oh, really?
And he's put them out. Now, a lot of people I know a lot of people have done there because it's amazing, because there's like the gurneys in the autopsy rooms and things that you can go on.
They're all still there. Yeah.
I know of people that have laid on it and felt the thing moving across the room while they've been laying on it, and there's been no one else in the room other than them. So is it?
Well, in the morgue.
Yeah, the morgue. That's how I couldn't think of the word.
I don't know whether you can still do it, but they used to have the drawers.
Yes, you could lock yourself in.
You could put yourself in there, and they've done that. People have done that, and
that's why I've been drawn to it. That's why I've been drawn to it, because I want to try that.
Yeah, well, it seemed at one stage. My sister lives over in Liverpool. She lives across the Wirral now, but she lived in Liverpool at the time. But every time I turned on the news or I was looking at something, it always seemed to come up. And I was really drawn to it. And like I say, I booked this tour. And they cleared off with all the money and everything. And it was... And then about 2 weeks after that, they said they were shutting it and it wasn't open because a lot of it's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they have since reopened it. And again, it's one of them. I really want to do it.
So like I said, it's the caretaker said a lot of the stories he's made up to make it a little bit more exciting for investigators to look for things.
I could say with things like that as well. In the look at me! I've made these up. It gets him attention. It gets him in the news, and it's 15 minutes of fame.
But then there's people I know that have done that, and they've had experiences that he's never mentioned.
Yeah.
So, but it's like we've said before. You can go to a place that's got the most haunted, like Waverley Hills, for instance, can be the most haunted place in the world. Go there. You could be there all day and get nothing. You can go to a church or something that's never had a single report of a ghost in its life and get inundated.
Well, like I said, the one I mate's uncle.
I would love to
when I walked past him, he was on a main road. absolutely nothing around. There's nothing, no reason he would be, other than he lived in that area when he was alive.
Yeah.
For him to be walking in that area.
Yeah.
And he looked as natural and as solid as I did.
Yeah. I remember
It was only
saying.
because I knew, like I say, I'd been an altar boy at his funeral a few months earlier.
The trouble with haunted locations is they have their actual histories of possible ghosts and things like that, but then people that want to big the area up, or people want to bring more money into the area, or people want attention for their teams or whatever, they'll twist the story slightly. You know, it's
all Edinburgh tour guides do that.
Yeah, and the guy that used to do the Norwich ghost tour used to do that when he came up to the Adam and Eve.
Oh yeah, that used to be my local, the Adam and Eve.
Yeah, I lived opposite Ket's Cave Park. So
you've only got to look at the shows, the TV shows. If they did what we know, 9 times out of 10, there's absolutely nothing happens. And like you say, you spend hours going through the footage and you get absolutely nothing. Yeah. They've got to do 10 shows.
Yeah.
An hour a piece.
Yeah. If they got nothing, they wouldn't even
If they got nothing, no one would watch. So, I mean, Bilbo's created a career of being a... And he made it the ego when he's... Oh, it's all about demons and they're all after me. I wish they bleeding were.
Well, pop over to Linda.
Right, this one is a personal experience one in a modern hospital. I need to send some pictures over. So these ones give you an idea of the age of the building, because these two are the original entrance to the building. It's a modern hospital now, but it's quite old. It's about 200 years old, if not a wee bit more.
Yeah. Well,
that's the first two pictures.
Any particular one you want first?
It doesn't matter. They're both the same room. It's just one shows the ceiling and one doesn't.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
that's quite posh, really, isn't
it? That is the original entrance, the Victorian entrance. Now, it's a modern hospital, and those that live not far away from me will recognise it. Now, we had to go there with my mum for a procedure that needed doing. And this procedure was going to be 4 hours. I wasn't allowed to go in with her, so I had to wait in the corridor. And the corridor I had to wait in was a bit like the third picture when it loads. The corridor's underground.
That's almost giving me vertigo.
Yeah,
it's like a death chute.
You can almost imagine someone riding down that on a tricycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking that.
I mean, that's not the exact hospital.
No,
but that is very similar to what I could see when I was waiting for my mum to finish her procedure.
That's definitely got the Shining vibes to that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there.
Oh, I sent the shiver down.
I can hear whisper, whisper, whisper. You know, like in any hospital, folk going about their stuff, folk in the wards, side wards, whatever. Whisper, whisper, whisper. And then I could hear this wifey greeting. And I couldn't see her. So I looked and I looked. And I can still hear this lady crying. And I looked at the far end of the corridor, and that's more or less what I saw, except obviously she was indoors and she was heading off round the corner at the very... She was heading off round the corridor, round the corner at the very far end of the corridor. And I'm like, well, she's definitely not really here.
How old were you
then? Walking away.
How old were you at the time?
This is about 5 years ago.
Oh, it's quite recent.
So she was 12.
So she's wandering off, and the whispers carrying on, and then I'm hearing feet, almost marching pace, and there were several feet. And I looks down the other end of the corridor, and I can hear the sound is coming from that end, but there's nothing to see. But I keep looking and following the noise, and eventually, this next photo is what I see, with two others wearing the same outfit. Red coat soldiers walking down the corridor, coming towards me, actually, but I couldn't get an image with the absolute correct uniform these guys had on, so I went with the image from behind.
Yeah, that's fine.
So these three officers are walking towards me, two infantrymen and one officer. The one officer had half of his arm missing and was visibly bleeding, dripping down the corridor. By this point, I'm just kind of sitting in this corridor going, WTAF? Where the hell am I sitting? And then I remembered, I'm underground. What's underground in a hospital?
The tunnels where I took the bodies usually.
Yeah.
The next room round the corner where the lady in black was going to was the morgue. That's when I decided to go upstairs to the staff canteen, which, like the Edinburgh one, it's not technically open to the public, but if you know where it is, you can go and get real food instead of the rubbish food that's in the public cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now their one is it looks like it used to be one of the old 1800s operating theatres because there's a gallery around the outside edge of the room. And walks in, and I'm sitting there with my cup of coffee and my biscuit going, what the hell just happened? This is all a bit weird. And I saw this guy come running in the door, stopped in the middle of the room, and you could see his hands moving, and he's reaching for stuff in the middle of the room. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then it dawned on me, I couldn't see him from the knees down. So yeah, the staff canteen used to be one of the old-fashioned theatres where they demonstrated.
So that seems like a bit of a stone thing.
Linda, your life.
Sorry,
your life. So I was just going to say, Linda's life must be quite exhausting. Do you never get away from? I don't know if I'm envious or I'm sorry for you. I don't know.
I feel sorry for Colin.
I know what you mean, Eileen. Yeah.
You know,
I feel sorry for Colin because she's going to be dragging him around all the haunted locations where he lives.
But you must be absolutely drained.
Have good shoes on.
See, the thing is, if I'm with somebody and stuff like that's happening, I'm like a kid who's just had a big 2-litre jug of Kiora with all the E numbers. And he'll be sitting there giving it, what? Because I'm draining him or whoever else I'm with. But I don't do it on purpose. It just happens accidentally. But yeah, by the end of this...
I'll be stood there. I'll go, oh, I've got to go here. I've got to go there. And people like this with the camera trying to keep up with me. That's why. That's another reason why I prefer doing it on my own, because then I can set it up where I want to be. But otherwise, somebody will be filming a headstone, for instance, here, and I'll be right over there. It's like a kid in a candy store, isn't it? Really.
That's it. I mean, by the time Mum had finished her procedure, I think I'd had about 20, 30 different conversations in different parts of the hospital. And actually, some of the real still alive staff were starting to kind of follow me down the corridor with their eyes. You know? And I think some of them knew that there were, I mean, when somewhere's been a hospital since the 1800s, there's going to be folk knocking about. But if I had known that my mum's procedure was happening in the room next door to the morgue, I would have just stayed in the cafe. But I was very surprised to see redcoat soldiers, a Victorian lady of money, early pre-Victorian lady with no money, bare feet, covered in dirt and everything, and all sorts of random things from 1700s right up to the 1960s kind of people. I randomly bumped into that day. And from then on, anytime we go down for her to have something else done, I just sit in the modern cafe because there's nothing in there.
Do you think when you're seeing spirit from different eras, do you think they see each other as well?
I was about to say that. I was about to say, like,
some
the
places,
woman, would they be able to communicate with a person from the 60s?
I have seen some places. One of the places I work in, a homeless lad who's moved into the building in the 1700s when it was empty, is terrified of the bishop from 1589.
Yeah.
Also, they do communicate.
That's the only one I've come across where there's absolute definitive communication. The others, it seems that they all seem to be blissfully unaware of each other, even when they're aware of me.
Again, which goes back to timelines, not being linear, different dimensions.
That's the subject that absolutely fascinates me, and it's quite mind-boggling to think there could be so many different lives in existence at the same time, but.
You think of salt bubbles.
Yeah.
You think of salt bubbles all enmeshed, all impinging on each other.
Yeah.
It's
that's the time slip thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes the walls meet, and
Yeah.
It really is. It's to try and be polite and put it in the words of Rocky Horror. It's a bit of a mind flip. When you're looking at people from 3 different centuries and they're all looking directly at you, but neither one knows the other ones are there. It's like,
you're the one commonality.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. They're looking at us as we're the ghost.
I've just had another thought.
I think in some cases,
I've just had another thought. You say, for instance, like at the hospital Linda's mum was in, or like Eileen's dad, for instance. Say you had a spirit from the 1700s, one from the early 1900s, and one from the 80s, and they can't see each other. By you being there and you being able to see all of them, can they use you as a window to see each other?
I think you can. I think you can make yourself into a bridge, because one of the other buildings I used to frequent was a jail in the 1700s. Before that, there was a private house there, and there's been a private house and businesses there since, right?
Yeah.
They had this, it was a place that's open to investigators and tourists and all sorts. And they had this one ghost that nobody could identify because it's just a grey mass. And one of the nights I was there, due to transport issues, I ended up spending the night there on my own, just because there was no point hiring a hotel when you've only got 3 hours till your next train.
Well, yeah.
So I ended up staying there on my own. And I came to after my 15-minute doze in the middle of the corridors, where there's a wee crossroads in the corridor. And there's this wee grey thing stood in front of me, about the height of my grandma, so about 4'10". And I knew it was a woman. I couldn't see anything except like a grey shadow.
You just
but it was the same height as my grandma.
You sometimes get the sensation that it feels feminine or it feels masculine, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And because it's like I'm sitting in the middle of the corridor, I'm like, hello, can I help you? Because as I say, this is again since I've been doing this kind of work. Like, can I help you? My name's Linda. What do you need? How can I help you? And I didn't hear anything, but as the modern readers are saying now, I got a download from her. And her name was Eva. And she lived in the house that was there before the jail was built. So she's from the 1500s, making her appearance known in the 1700s jail. Her husband and her son went off to battle. Now, whatever battle happened in the 1500s in Derbyshire, I have no clue, because I don't do Englandshire history. Not yet, anyway. And they'd gone off to battle, and she's basically pacing up and down the front of her house, waiting for word coming back about her husband and her son. And that's why she's always walking across what is now the corridor in the centre of the 1700s jail. She's pacing backwards and forwards, waiting to hear word.
Well, you've got the Wars of the Roses around that time.
He's round about 1500s, and it's Derby.
Yeah. You've got the Wars of the Roses going on around that time, so there was no major, as far as I'm aware, no major battles. But there were a lot.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just having a look, see if so I can confirm it.
A lot of skirmishes and a lot of fighting, but there was no major battles. But yeah, it was around the time of the War of the Roses.
And it's funny now because a lot of photos from investigations used to have this little diddy short grey figure popping up in photos. And every time the owner of the building gets sent these photos, he's messaging me. He's like, I got another photo of Eva. Got another photo of Eva. And since I've told him her name, he doesn't get bugged by her. He used to be terrified of her, because he'd be sitting doing the admin stuff at the end of the day, and this wee grey thing would shoot past backwards and forwards. And by the third or fourth time she walks past me, he's just locked the door and driven home.
The closest
but now he's a bit more relaxed. Now he knows it's just a wee wifey waiting to hear back from her family that went off the war.
The closest I can find to that is about 40 miles southeast of Derby was the Battle of Bosworth Fields in 1485.
Yeah, like I say, you got the whole War of the Roses going on. There's a lot of conflict, a lot of...
See that's it, because Derby's literally been the crossroads in the middle of England for centuries. So...
Well, I've got...
it's funny.
Well, I've got a few photos.
Yeah, if you start...
Let me delete my photos out to make it easier.
This one won't upload for some reason. Bloody thing. Let's try again.
Let me delete mine out.
All right, maybe because there's too many on there.
Right, deleting out my last one. There you go. You should have space now.
Yep, that's got it. Right. This is an old picture of Honey Lane Hospital that's in Waltham Abbey. Another place that my mum had been a head chef at. That was before she went to Langthorne Hospital. Nothing major happened there. Few shadow people, what we nowadays call shadow people. But no sort of like major sightings and that. But the kitchen, that main building there, behind there was another building, which was the kitchen, and I don't know, I can't remember what time it was, but it was locked after a certain time, and you didn't get any food after a certain time of the day because there was literally no kitchen staff there. But on a regular basis, they would walk back, unlock, and walk in there in the mornings, and pots and pans would have been moved or stacked up. So, but there's no actual like, I saw a ghost of this or a ghost of that or anything like that. I did have a picture of it now because it's all been ripped down. It's been turned into bungalows and things for old age pensioners.
Who was that?
Huh?
Markdown 219.
I heard that as well, Linda.
Yeah, I heard it. I thought it was someone.
Yeah, it was a female whisper.
Yeah.
They followed you again, Linda.
No, this came out of the computer this time, so it's one of you lot.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'll check back on that. But
it's
yeah,
almost like a hi, it's me. It's almost like that.
Well, I'll if someone PMs me what the time is, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kitchen was behind. That was the main entrance. Just off to the left there, a little way up the road was the Church Beach School that I went to. But yeah, it weren't nothing major. There weren't like, oh, there's a ghost here and this, that, and the other. But it was a case of like pots and pans would be stacked on top of each other and things like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not going to forget the time because all three of us have texted you what the time was.
It got closed down. I think it was probably about 1983, 84. And you had like staff occasionally. You had a few staff there, like skeletons. Is it skeleton crew's the word?
Yeah.
You had like a skeleton crew there. And they'd say, oh yeah, there was a few weird things, a few weird noises, this, that, and the other. And then it must have been about the mid-80s. The skeleton crew left. The place was completely empty, but where my nan's house was at the time, you could literally look across the field to the hospital, to like the direction where you could see the back of the kitchens, and even then you'd see the lights coming on at night. So, but I don't know of any actual reports of anyone seeing anything. Only the things were being moved or lights were being on.
I got a couple of little mini ones like that.
Well, I put some photos in for.
Yeah, we'll start with, I think, this one. What?
Yeah, if you just started with the other one first.
Oh, which one?
The Matron one, it's called.
Matron one. There we go.
Yeah. This is at Leeds University Hospital, General Infirmary.
Oh, Perry's
just by a 21-year-old lad who was starting his night shift.
Yes, Perry.
He claims to have seen this ghost walking down. If you put the next one up. Yeah. And that, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, right, yeah. If you put the next one up, you look at the uniforms, there's definitely something about it. Yeah. You put the one that you put up first up.
That 100% is fake.
Yeah.
100% is fake.
It was at the time.
Oh, Perry. Oh, bring that up. Perry just said he's heard another one.
Oh.
Right. Okay. We'll have to check that.
I've noted that one down as well.
Right. I'll check that. I'm just wondering if it's because Ian's been getting a bit of feedback tonight. So I was wondering if it was that. Now, when these pictures were taken, were they just taken on a phone or were they through Snapchat or anything like that?
I would imagine it's taken on a phone, and it's been proved to be fake because the image that's on the right was one of the fake ghost apps that you could transfer in, and when you actually look at it, that's what that figure is. Like I say, when I first saw it, and I thought, all right, yeah, you look at the uniforms,
same angle, same angle.
There's definitely something, and then you look at that, and no, it's exactly the same thing. He stuck it. The whole thing is.
So now one reason I was asking is because I think it was called Snapchat.
Yeah.
Or one of them. It's one of them that was before Instagram or something like that. A lot of people were using that and saying, oh, I work in this old people's home and I've caught an image of a ghost, or I work in a hospital. But what they didn't tell you was that the creators of the app had deliberately put things into the app. So on the odd occasion, a ghostly image would come up.
Yeah.
It was that was actually an iPhone app called Ghost Capture.
So then 100% that's fake then.
So it's 100% fake. You look at it, the legs and everything, the body, the whole shit is fake.
But as we said before, unfortunately, people will believe it.
Exactly. Like I say, when I first saw it, I thought, all right, because and you look at the uniform, you can imagine it going across, and then you see the thing and think, yeah, it's definitely. But as we've seen with Bigfoot and the like, you get a blurry image.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
people start questioning it, and oh well, yeah, it does look like. And then even when they prove it's wrong, that it is a fake, like your shower, your shower scene.
Yeah. See, a lot of people as well with pareidolia, like Eileen posted, I think it was Eileen posted the thing about pareidolia in a group the other day. It was the joke of God talking to Jesus about pareidolia, that it can only be seen in cornflakes or a dog's bum. And I put that one with the dog's butt up, which is called Dog Butt Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, people will see that and they're like, oh yeah, it's definitely real. But what a lot of people don't realise, pareidolia isn't just seeing things. You can have auditory pareidolia or sensation pareidolia as well. But people automatically think pareidolia is, oh look, there's a bunny and that one looks like an elephant. But it's not. There's more lots of things have got multifaceted. Like I've spoken to people in the past, and even my sons, when they occasionally ask me about the ghosty stuff, because I suppose because they're young, but I've even heard adults say, well, the paranormal, that's just ghosts. But because
seen that one.
I love
it gets me with the spots. It's not just the ball.
Yeah,
the spots,
the arms and everything.
You can see the whole.
I keep saying I'm going to get that one put on a t-shirt. I'll never get round to it, but no, pareidolia. It doesn't just have to be. Oh, there's a bunny. There's a cloud that looks like a bunny, or one that looks like a dragon. Being touched, possibly. Somebody could auto suggestion, and if you go in this room, you get touched, and oh Christ, somebody's just touched my arm. But it's because before you came in the room, somebody said, while you're in there, you're going to get touched. It's auto suggestion.
Touch me.
I'm actually surprised.
Like you getting jealous of Eileen in the
hospital.
I was sitting there, I was thinking, that's not fair. Why can't I have something like that? But I remember when, it is kind of hospital related, when my second eldest son, Brandon Lee, who's 29 now, when he was first born, because there were some problems and because of his mum's past, she was had a 14-day enforced stay at the hospital.
Who's moving your camera, Eileen?
Me. That was me.
That's all right then. Just checking.
Yeah. In Basildon Hospital, and I don't think it's very, very good, but underneath the maternity ward is where they have the morgue. And I remember going down, it was half 12.
From start to finish.
Yeah. What is it? One in, one out, isn't it? Well, they say one in, one out, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like where Eileen was saying about having the whispering and that. I had a similar experience, and at first I did think it was paranormal, but then I sat down and thought about it. Look, I'm not saying Eileen's is the same, but with my experience, I thought I could hear whispering, and I was like, well, I'm just here, and it's like someone whispering. I tried to communicate, got nothing. But what it turned out to be, because the hospital was so quiet at night, and there was no noise outside, I could hear the blood rushing past my eardrums. It weren't like the buzzing of tinnitus, it's the whooshy sort of noise you get. It sounded like
what you hear before you actually faint.
Your ears.
Yeah. Because what's the old saying? The silence is deafening. The old saying is the silence is deafening.
Yeah.
That whooshy sort of noise. And I'm wondering how many. I'm not saying about Eileen's case, but I mean just like in general, when people go, "Oh, I've been to this place and this happened, and this place and that happened," or "I went to Waverley Hills and I heard this and I heard that." I'm wondering if it's because it's in a location so quiet, you're actually hearing the blood going past your eardrums.
I know what you mean. Sometimes you're in an investigation, it's so quiet, and you're concentrating that much that you begin to doubt yourself. Sometimes you think, well, did I?
And sometimes
if you concentrate, you can actually make the whooshing noise sound even louder. Sorry, Joe?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's even a ghost that you're hearing.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of what we're here for,
Mum
right?
was a nurse
Mm.
many, many years ago. And I've tried getting stories out of her. And she's hinted at stuff, but she's never actually
Giving you
said.
full details.
So the closest she's come to telling me anything was, again, when she worked, she had to do morgue duties and that. And you're going down in the middle of the night, you take it. It's where she met me dad. My dad scared the living shit out of her because he was laying on the trolley. And that's how they met. But taking the bodies into the morgue, and as we've discussed in the past, I mean, Linda's given us explanations as to what happens with the body, with the gases and everything.
Yeah.
And you've got the bodies in the drawers, and all of a sudden there'll be a massive bang out of a drawer.
Yeah.
And
That must be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you someone's brave enough to open the drawer and there's nothing there. And it could purely be that the body sat up because of the gases.
Yeah. I must
if
admit,
you see that happen, I would. I'd crap myself.
I must admit, if I was in a morgue and one of the dead bodies started farting, I think I'd be too busy laughing to run. I really would.
My old physics teacher at high
Not
school.
if he turned around and said, "Pardon me."
then I'd shoot myself.
My old physics teacher at high school. He was doing morgue duty when he was studying, and because he saw it as easy money. You know, you're working nights, everybody else is out partying, you're earning money. It's a nice, quiet thing. And on his first night, some of the guys who'd been there for a few years made a point of lining up an event for him. They took one of them out of the freezer like a full hour before he clocked on, and it was left in the corridor. So the temperature has changed. He's thawed out. And just as them two are off to get the coffee and donuts for everybody and leaving him on his own, the body, who is literally like that, goes, "Oh," and the arms fall off the chest. They came back with the coffee and donuts. He was sat on the front doorstep outside the building.
I think I would need new underwear, I think, if that happens.
Because it's not just the noise, it's the fact that as the inflate and deflate happened, the arms fell off.
Yeah.
No, I
imagine you open the fridge and someone says it's bloody cold in here. Shut that door.
I got two very, very brief ones I want to do. We're going back to Yorkshire, St Luke's Hospital in Bradford. In the early 70s, when I was born, there was one ward that had been shut down for a while for whatever reason. We really don't know why it was shut down.
I must admit, I need a cool chair for next week. Wouldn't Yeah.
The staff didn't like to go in there because there was still kit and that in this closed down ward, so they would go in and get the kit and that when they needed to. But the majority of them tried to go and collect the kit during daylight. Because during the night time, you would see a white lady walking up and down the ward, stopping at each of the spaces where a bed used to be, get to the end of the ward, and come back down and check the other side of the room.
That
But there was nobody in there. There was no beds in there anymore.
But
So
I don't
we presume she was
people can get scared of that.
Yeah,
I reckon that was a matron doing
she's
a round.
she's probably.
She's doing
when
her
I was
rounds,
told about it, I said
residual,
she's probably just a colleague.
Yeah, stone tape. She does it same thing every
she's just
night.
still on duty.
Yeah.
And the other one is coming from. The other one comes from my grandma via my mum. From the old TB sanatorium round by Bradford, Batley kind of area. My grandma was working in there, and there was this little boy, and she felt so bad for him because he was so ill with the TB, and he was the youngest one there at the time. And she was on night duty, and because he'd been really struggling with what bit of medication there was available in the 1940s, 1950s, she sat at the end outside his room with her book. It's like, the duties are finished. I'll sit and read my book. Then I'll go and do the duties in half an hour's time. You know, going round and checking. And she was sitting reading the book, and she saw in her peripheral vision the end of the corridor went black. And this blackness came closer and closer and closer. Got to the little boy's room that she was sat outside of. Went into the room. As it crossed the threshold, it changed to a general, tall, human shape, black shadow. Walked around the bed, walked from the little boy's feet up to his head, nodded, walked out of the room, and carried on down the corridor. As it got 6 feet away from the room of the little boy, he coded, and that was the end of him. So my grandma swears blind she saw death come and collect this little boy.
The angel of death.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, somebody had come to collect him. There was one story I heard ages ago when I started flicking through and I was bored on you, because as you know, I don't watch TV. I was flicking through YouTube, and there's one that a new nurse, I don't remember what country it was in or wherever, but she was doing some stuff in like where they sterilize the needles and all of that sort of thing, and she was doing something, and some matron came in and went, "Oh, you stupid girl, and you shouldn't do it like this, you shouldn't do it like that," and then she corrected what she was doing. The woman went, "Right, that's better," and walked out. And when she came out and said, "Oh, I nearly screwed up. I'd done such and such a thing. I weren't going to do it that way, but luckily someone corrected me." And I went, "Well, who?" And she described them, and they said, "Oh, that's the old matron that died about 15 years ago." So she'd been there. So she'd potentially saved somebody's life by correcting the nurse.
Yeah.
How true it is, you don't know, because stories do get twisted. Most stories.
I do still think there's a lot of the old nursing staff and NHS staff and pre-NHS staff that are still on duty in some of these buildings. Because they just had such a desire to look after folk. I think there are still a lot of them that hang about.
In those days,
it's because of wages are so shit, and they're still trying to pay off their student loans. No, I'd like to think hospitals do have people like that. Yeah, I really do. That would be lovely. If anywhere, churches, wherever. I'm particularly bothered if they've got spirits in there or not. But the thought that there is people that do genuinely care, and they did join the nursing for genuine reasons, and they've passed away, and they're like, "Do you know what? There's people here that are dying. I just want to carry on doing my job and help them transition."
See, I think my grandma's going to be one of them, because when she went into hospital after she had strokes, she was in her 90s, and every time the nurses left the room, they would find her at the nurses' station making coffee. They'd be like, "What you doing, Queenie?" And she's like, "I'm making coffee for the old ladies." Yeah, the old ladies that were 30 years younger than her.
Oh.
She used to be the district nurse, you see. And she was a nurse in some form or other for her entire life. And even when she was in there as a patient, she was running around making sure everybody else in her ward was okay.
Oh, sweet.
So I think she's going to be one that's permanently on duty.
In those days, it was a vacation.
Yeah.
Not just a job.
Not just a job. And these days, it's not even just a job for some of them.
And from the experiences, from working in care, the experiences I've had with the NHS nowadays stands for No Hope Surviving.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, like I said, my mum, 4:30 when she fell. What, last night when the ambulance turned up. I got to the hospital at 6 a.m. to stag my brother who'd been with her. She was I got there just as he called her in. The doctor turned around and said, you're going to need an x-ray. This should have all been done when you first came in. He wasn't having a go at my mum, but even he was pissed off.
Yeah. Well,
from the falling at 4:30, we left the hospital at 7 o'clock. I took her for an x-ray. She hadn't been taken to the loo.
Jesus.
I took her to the loo. If it had been me who'd taken her in, not my brother, he went with the ambulance. If it had been me, I'd have ripped the head off the nurse. Because all she was saying to me mum was, you should have been able to stand up. Even if you broke your arm, you should have been able to get up. It's not that painful. I'm going to take bloods because I think there's something else underlying this.
I've had so many horror stories. As I've said,
ripped a bleeding head off.
As I said to you before about Arthur, when I'm in Norwich, I worked in Taverham. There's an old guy gone in. He'd gone blue, so he got rushed in, and it'd been quiet in there. So I volunteered to go down there. He was in the ward, having a heart attack, in the process of dying, and the nurses were at the nurses' station, and one of them was talking to her friend, and one of the doctors had walked up about the size of the penis of the bloke she'd had a one-night stand with.
Yeah.
Instead of actually helping people.
Well, I took her home for the x-ray. Walked to the reception. The reception's all closed up. No sign of anyone. I'm walking around looking for people. Walk back to go back to where we came in to see if my mum says, oh, there's a sign there. And it was about the size of just bigger than a post-it note. If reception's closed, please ring bell. This is round the corner and round another corner from the x-ray reception. So I'm stood there pressing the bell. I'm looking into a ward. There's 3 assume we're nurses. You can't tell these days with the bloody uniforms they've got on.
Yeah.
You've no idea whether they're a nurse or a bloody cleaner or what.
Yeah.
But they were stood at the counter in the thing. I walked in. There's x-ray machines in there. I said, is there anyone on it? Oh, you need to ring the bell. I said, you just stood and watched me ring it for the last 10 minutes. Oh, well, you need to ring the bell. And she came out with me and was press the bell. Nothing happened. She said, oh, press it again. Nothing happened. She said, oh, if you sit down, someone will come. 20 minutes later, someone turned up. She came in, this Asian lass, young lass. Right, I need you to put your arm up. I said, she can't move her arm. She's in absolute agony. And she got hold of my mum's wrist and said, I need you to put it on here. And my mum screamed and I nearly smacked her.
Yeah. NHS,
you want it, and I will help my mum. Well, she needs to put her arm on here, and she tried it again, and how the hell I didn't rip her face off her?
The NHS, they just don't. Yes, they don't get paid enough. Yes, they work too much, but the experiences I've had working in care and being around the NHS a lot, even with CJ, some years back. But he was about 4 years old, and he's like, what? Christ, he's 12 next week. He'd been climbing. CJ, don't climb. You're going to fall and hurt yourself. He fell. He broke his arm. The thing was, he'd only just got out of a sling because we'd gone to a fete. We'd gone on some bumper cars and somebody had smashed into us, and I'd had to go like that to protect him. I broke a couple of fingers and he broke his collarbone. We took him to the doctors. No, he's putting it on. 3 times we went back to the doctors. No, he's putting it on. He's pretending. Yeah. We went, you know what? No. CJ, he's not pretending. We know our child. We took him into A&E. He had a broken collarbone.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Well, I fractured my skull as a kid.
It shows.
Well, I've actually fractured it a couple of times, but
yeah.
Yeah, CJ.
I ran into basically a bloody tall boy thing, a cupboard, and it cracked my skull. My mum and dad took me 5 times. They took me to the infirmary and were told, no, there's nothing wrong with him. And in the end, my dad went absolutely ballistic. They took me for an X-ray, and I got hairline fracture running down the side of my skull. They then reported my mum and dad to the DSS or whatever it was in those days as abusing me.
Yeah. I had one once. I was 14, out with the dog, greyhound whippet cross, so of course they want to run.
Yep.
She runs off full pelt. It's one of them days where it had been raining. We were up the path in the woodies. So you've got not cobblestones, but rocks and like farm rocks, farm pebbles.
Yeah.
With grass and mud over them. So it's a little bit slippy. The dog runs right at me like I wasn't there. Knocked me, excuse the phrase, ass over tit. And my ankle bone landed bang on one of the rocks. And I heard it go.
Yeah.
Limped home, had it x-rayed. Oh, it's just a bad sprain, it'll be fine. Okay, strap it up. 2 weeks later, the exact same thing, but the other leg.
Oh,
the same dog, the same path. You'd think I would learn, but
yeah.
So the other leg, bang, straight onto the rock.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's like, okay, it's badly sprained, but it'll be okay. Strap it up, let it go. That was when I was like 14. When I was 21, I had an accident on the trampoline, which led to me having both legs x-rayed. And the same woman who had x-rayed me when I was a teenager said, oh, both your ankles have been broken and set wrong. And I'm like, well, that's funny. It was you that x-rayed them last time, and you said they were just sprained. And again, about 6 years ago, I found out that when I was 19, I broke my spine in 2 places. Didn't know about it at the time, but
I think the worst story I heard on the NHS was Newham Hospital up near Stratford. One of my friends at the time, their sister had got pregnant. They'd been trying for ages to have a baby. She went into labour, gave birth. They handed her the baby. And an hour and a half later, they came back and took the baby. And she went, "Well, why are you taking the baby for?" They went, "Oh, it was stillborn."
Yeah, it wasn't.
They'd given her a stillborn baby and not told her that it was stillborn.
That's a nice compensation claim coming out then.
Oh, I think they got quite a bit for that.
Claiming well should be anyway.
And last year, the doctor's surgery that the boys are at, one of the mums that talks to Heidi and that when the boys were going there, her mum was getting a lot of pains, like all this sort of area pains. And they went, "Oh no, it's just indigestion. It's just indigestion." And they went, "This don't seem right. She's getting weak. You know, you don't get weak from indigestion." Took her to the hospital. she actually had stage 4 stomach cancer.
Oh dear.
She died 4 days later.
Yeah,
when I was a baby, Mum
My
took
mother-
me to the docks with a bad cough in 1973. And there was 6 or 7 of us in the GP surgery that day who were all babies and all had this really bad cough things going on. Every one of the mothers was told we had croup. 4 weeks later, there's only 2 of us alive and we're both in ICU.
Back in 73, there was a lot of whooping cough. Yeah, I had it. Yeah. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't fault them completely, the NHS completely, because they are overworked. You know, some of them are on 27, 28-hour shifts.
I know, but you expect a certain amount of human compassion, don't you?
And it seems to me to have become like any big organisation. The ground level workers who are actually doing the job, there are some absolutely beautiful souls and fantastic people. But it's the whole willing slave is being worked to death while the rest of them higher up the chain are coasting and doing nothing.
Take 5 tiers of management out of the NHS and would know no bloody difference. They've got well-being managers. You've got equality managers on 80 odd K a year.
Yeah.
Whose job it is to go around and say, "Don't worry, it's all right." You've got managers who are sat looking at charts saying, "Well, we haven't performed well this month." Well, get off your ass, get out there and bloody do a job.
Yeah.
But no,
the whole thing is top heavy.
It's like any big corporation, there's far too many paper shufflers and not enough workers.
Far too many chiefs.
Yes, too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah.
Right, Joe, do you want to finish off the show?
Be careful, the snowflakes will get upset with that.
You're on mute, Joe.
Joe, you're on mute. No.
You're muted.
Joe, you're muted.
I was looking stuff up and then it was making noises, so I muted myself. But I've got one. It's a really quick one. It's personal experience. When I was in the hospital getting my heart transplant done, this is a couple of weeks before it will happen. I'm just sitting in the hospital for 6 weeks or so, waiting for this heart to show up. And I'm on my iPad playing some stupid game or whatever. And I look up and the doctor walked in the room. And the doctor has got on a very wide collar, paisley colored shirt, kind of a brown and gold paisley shirt, kind of silk. He had a white robe or a white jacket on, but it was open and you could see the shirt and the stethoscope and everything. His hair was kind of poofy, 1970s style. This guy had on kind of bell bottoms. He had on fancy shoes, and he walked into my room, walked over to the sharps container, dumped some stuff in. I couldn't hear anything. The door didn't open, to drop anything in there. But he walked over there, put some stuff in the sharps container, turned around, walked out, looked at me like that, and walked out of the room. And so I'm like, okay. So I when the nurse came in, I said, "Hey, you got anybody working today that's got a brownish gold paisley shirt on, wearing a white coat?" No, not at all. Who in the world? I just grabbed the guy, and no idea who it was. So, but that was at Loma Linda Hospital in Loma Linda, California, where I had the transplant done. But it was interesting.
Cool.
That place had all sorts of stuff going on. My bed would be moved down to get an X-ray, or well, they do the X-rays in the room. They bring the X-ray to you. But if you go down to do something, they take you in the bed and we're in a wheelchair, and you go down and do whatever test they want you to do, whatever. And you'd see somebody walking in the hallway, and you'd have to go, "Is that a person or is that a ghost or what?"
Well, it's like we said before, though. They reckon out of every 200 people we pass in the street, at least one's going to be a spirit.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's it. As a kid, I spent so much time in hospital, usually through my own bloody idiocy, going in for stitches, whatever, climbed something and fell off or whatever.
I've got
I've had enough tetanus jabs for about 10 lifetimes. Because every time I went in, it was have a tetanus. Well, like you say, you're sat there. I mean, Bolton Royal Infirmary at the time was a really, really old building. And it was like a warren. And there's people walking past. And being a hospital, you've no idea whether they're bloody patients. You've no idea whether they're doctors, nurses, the walking dead or what.
Yeah.
Like I said, the two spirits I know, two ghosts I've seen that I know were definitely ghosts, were as solid as we are.
Yeah.
And as close as I am to this computer screen.
Yeah.
So anyone else walking past who didn't know would have just assumed they were normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to wish Ian's mum a speedy recovery again. Going to thank
Thank
Eileen
you.
for her time.
Yep.
Thank Colin for joining in. Thank
Yes.
Perry as well.
No worries.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun. I find these weird Wednesdays always very entertaining. I just wish I could make more people come and listen to you. I try my best.
I know. You know, we don't, as what Ian said, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, we don't do it. We're not doing it for the,
No, but it would be nice because your discussions are always very interesting. They're always very entertaining.
Well, I worked it out. Between me, Ian, Joe, and Linda, we'd had about 140 years experience combined.
Well,
yeah.
Within the field, you know.
Well, thank you for having
About
me.
90 of them are me.
It's been nice to kind of meet you, even albeit on the screen.
Yeah.
Nice
You're
to meet
welcome
you
back
too,
anytime,
Eileen.
Eileen.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to share it. Those that are watching, don't forget
Seeing
to
your name
subscribe.
popping up in the comments.
Perry, have you subscribed? I think he has.
Perry is
hasn't
definitely subscribed.
he?
And Perry's alter ego is also subscribed.
Right.
Circumscribed.
Or circumcised, one of the two. Right, what are we going for next week?
Any suggestions for next week?
Oh, fuck. This is actually our longest stream so far.
It is.
Cheers, Perry.
Perry, you got any suggestions?
Because Joe keeps sending me the list.
Eileen.
I'm too lazy to read them.
Waterborne.
What?
Ship's ghosts.
Oh, could do.
Oh,
I like
So
that.
you said waterboard.
I did.
What do you want?
Waterborne
Torture or the organization?
you have to
I
wear
thought it was
an
on about a new sexual thing. But...
No, that's waterboarding, and it's not
Oh, right.
sexual. Well, it might be.
It could be, I guess.
No, doesn't appeal to me, I must admit.
No, me either.
Right. Thank you, Perry.
Oh, well.
We have got so many lists. We could always go back to Ian's favourite topic.
Go on.
UFOs?
No,
Orbs.
that's
Same difference.
I don't know why there's so many people to watch the UFO things, and it's all cobblers. It really is. You know,
It is. There's something out there, but that little spot in the sky, just because you don't know what the bleeding hell it is, doesn't mean it's an alien.
No. And I was watching because as you know, I like my physics and science stuff and all that. There's a thing I was watching. I think it was last weekend when I was overseeing the kids. They said if our sun was the size of a grain of rice, the next nearest planet, which would be Alpha Centauri, sorry, not grain of rice, sorry, grain of sand, sorry. If our sun was the size of a grain of sand, the next nearest one to us is Alpha Centauri. If that was the size of a grain of sand, it'd be 18.6 miles away. Yeah. So if you compare, if you zoom that up, that shows you how vast it is. Why would what is so special about the human race that someone's going to travel, 300,000 years?
I still reckon we're a penal colony.
You know, Why would somebody travel 300,000 years just to
Or
stick their finger up
kindergarten.
someone's ass?
Yeah.
So, no.
Well, growing old is compulsory. Growing up is
mandatory.
whatever you want.
Yes, that's through choice, that is.
Yeah.
But that's been fantastic having Eileen in. Anyone else that watches this that's in Paranormal Anglia, so we need to share this if they want to jump in. I will have a word with Andy and Tracy because they was going to jump in free in a few months back, but unfortunately had a lot of stuff. They've got a new group started and doing new things, so they've been quite busy. But I will ask them again. But yeah, Perry said you'll have a think. If anyone else has any ideas, feel free to let us know, and I'll use the AI. I'm quite happy with the little AI I used for this one anyway. Me as a puppet, as a doctor, I thought it was brilliant. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the sizing right. I couldn't get the sizing right. That's why it's over on the side. But
just before you go,
if
I can find a bloody thing.
What's he found?
I've just put a photo in. That was Bolton Royal Infirmary.
Wow!
But like I say, I spent a hell of a lot of weekends there.
That is stunning building.
It was absolutely magnificent.
That is
it's all gone now.
They don't build places like that anymore, do they?
No.
Yeah, now it's cardboard box design.
Yeah. But
throw them up, rip them down.
But that I was really happy with that. With a little ghosty in the background. Right, guys.
Yep.
So until next week, we'll think of something.
Okay.
Those that are watching, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. So until next week. And again, Eileen, thank you. And please,
it's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yep. Please share.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.